Live from Idaho Central Arena, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey. As tonight's the first of a two-game home-and-home as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. These teams will meet 7 times during the regular season. Normally, they meet more than that as the Grizzlies take on the arch-rival Idaho Steelheads. And for the Grizzlies, it's the last of a 4-game road trip. And Utah has a winning record on the trip on the line as Utah picked up 3 out of 6 standings points in the Eastern time zone. Last Friday in the regular season opener, Utah got a 3-1 victory as Garrett Pike scored 2 goals and Ty Voigt added an empty netter. And the Grizzlies defeated the Greenville Swamp Rabbits 3-1. Dryden McKay saved 25 of 26 that night. Last Saturday, in Game 2 of the regular season, Utah lost 3-2 in overtime as Ty Voigt and Jack Ricketts each had goals for Utah. And then on Sunday afternoon, the Grizzlies were playing their 3rd game in less than 48 hours. Atlanta was only playing for the 2nd straight day, so they were a little bit fresher. Christian Felton scored the Grizzlies' lone goal, and that was 17:58 into the second period, and it was his first pro goal. There's been 2 straight games where the Grizzlies have had players score their first pro goals. Jack Ricketts scored 7 minutes into the second period on Saturday night against Atlanta in Game 2 of the regular season. And as we mentioned before, Christian Felton with his first pro goal, and that was on Sunday afternoon against the Atlanta Gladiators. So it should be an interesting weekend of hockey. Grizzlies will be here tonight and then get on a bus. Both teams will get on the bus, go to the Salt Lake Valley, and the Grizzlies and Steelheads will do battle tomorrow night for the Grizzlies home opener. Should be a ton of fun. Looks like a great crowd is filing in here to Idaho Central Arena. They're expecting a sellout tonight as capacity here at Idaho Central Arena is at about 5,200. Well, we'll see if Aiden Hansen-Buchanan can get a goal in his professional debut as he's going to be in there for the Grizzlies for the first time. And we'll see if Danny Geniev, maybe he gets his first pro goal tonight. Should be a ton of fun. Not only is Aiden Hansen-Buchanan making his season debut, but Adam Berg is also in the lineup for the Grizzlies this evening as they're going to go with 11 forwards and 6 defensemen. When we come back to the Grizzlies pregame report, we'll talk about a special defenseman who just got called up to the NHL earlier this week. Should be a ton of fun. If you're in the Boise area, come on out and join us. If not, obviously we got the game on YouTube and Flow Sports as well. Flow Sports with the exclusive streaming provider of the league, and YouTube with the unique audio broadcast that we present every regular season game. We're thrilled to be in Boise here tonight. It's one of only 3 games this season where the Grizzlies will be in Boise. Grizzlies come back in the month of November. When we come back, we'll talk about the NHL call-up. We'll also go over the lineups for both teams as we're in business on a Friday night. And you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from Les.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in about 20 minutes from now here in Boise. It's the Steelheads home opener as they won 2 out of 3 games against the Tahoe Night Monsters. And for the Grizzlies, they'll get very familiar with their Mountain Division opponents. It's the first game the Grizzlies have this season against the Mountain Division opponent. 51 of the 72 games this season the Grizzlies will be against teams from the Mountain Division. Well, a few days ago, we saw some thrilling news as defenseman Charles Edward Dastu was called up to the NHL's Tampa Bay Lightning. Dastu is one of the greatest defensemen in Grizzlies history. He was the league's defenseman of the year back in the 2021-22 season, and he had an unbelievable regular season for the Grizzlies. In 52 games, he had 26 goals, 31 assists. He was a plus 21. He was part of the best defensive pairing in the league that year with Luke Martin. And just about every defenseman the Grizzlies had that was a consistent performer in the lineup had an AHL or NHL contract. Dastu is the third player from that 2021-22 team to make it to the NHL. Trent Miner just appeared in a game just last night for the Colorado Avalanche, where he saved all 20 shots and 2 of 3 in a shootout. But the Avalanche ended up falling short 5-4 to the Carolina Hurricanes. And Nate Klerman, the star defenseman who played his college hockey at Notre Dame, he played in one game last season with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And obviously, Dastu's regular season was unbelievable. Maybe the best moment in the regular season actually came here at Idaho Central Arena, where he scored the game winner with 1.8 seconds remaining in regulation. That's right. It was a play in the high slot where Ben Tardif threw a no-look pass. He looked to his left, threw it to his right. Dastu was all alone. Dastu fired a one-timer past the goal line. And if you think about it, Idaho missed the postseason by one game. And that could have been that game where not only did the Steelheads not win it, but they also lost in regulation with Dastu scoring with less than 2 seconds left. And that game could have made the difference between the Steelheads making the postseason and missing it for the first time in team history. But really, it's the postseason for Dastu back in 2022. That's the stuff of legends. He had 9 goals in a 7-game series against the Tulsa Oilers. Grizzlies won that series 4-3. And then he had 8 goals against Rapid City, including a hat trick in Game 3. But the one Grizzlies fans remember was in Game 2, where Nick Henry scored a game-tying goal with 43 seconds left. That tied it up 4-4. And then Dastu, with just under 8 seconds left in regulation, fired a one-timer past Lucas Preek as the Grizzlies came away with a 5-4 victory. And if you're talking about great moments, if you were in the building that night, that was one of the greatest moments in Grizzlies history. And he had the greatest postseason run that any Grizzly has ever had, and that includes the 1996 Turner Cup. Dastu picked up his 18th goal of the postseason in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals as the Grizzlies defeated Toledo. It was an overtime game winner, and with that, Dastu broke a league record for goals in a single postseason. He ended up scoring one more goal against Toledo, so he had 19 playoff goals in 18 games. For the Grizzlies in their 2022 Kelly Cup championship run. Unfortunately for the Grizzlies, they lost 4-1 to the Toledo Walleye. Walleye had literally 0 rookies that played in that Western Conference Finals, whereas the Grizzlies, for the most part, at least half their roster was first-year pros. So obviously, if you're talking about the great seasons in Utah Grizzlies history, you really have to think back to that season, the 2021-22 campaign, as it was the first and only Utah Grizzlies Division Championship club. So congratulations to Charles Edward Dastu. I think when he was with the Grizzlies, everybody saw the talent, and it wasn't just an AHL talent. There was a lot of people that said, this guy's not only good, he looks like he's NHL good. And so Dastu, he's now a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I'm really hoping he's going to be in the lineup for the Lightning on November 2nd. Because the Tampa Bay Lightning will be in the Salt Lake Valley taking on the Utah Mammoth. In fact, that's the Mammoth's next home game. So it'd be fun if he's in the lineup there. Trent Miner was not in the game on Tuesday at Delta Center. He did warm up, and he was the backup to Scott Wedgwood. I think we're all hoping that Miner would get in the game. He ended up getting in last night's game as the Avalanche were in Carolina. But the tradition continues of Grizzlies players going on to do some great things. Dastu, Miner, and Klerman from that 2021-22 club are all in the National Hockey League, and hopefully someday, who knows, maybe a Luke Martin gets there or a Ben Tardif. I certainly hope to get to the National Hockey League and maybe be the 4th. It's going to be, a lot of fun to see, and it really has been fun over the years to see the progress of great Grizzlies players like Charles Edward Dastu. So we're certainly thrilled to see him in the National Hockey League, and hopefully he will be in the Lightning lineup on November 2nd when the Lightning are in the Salt Lake Valley to take on the Utah Mammoth. When we come back, we'll go over the lineups for both teams. It looks like a good crowd's filing in here to Idaho Central Arena. We got a good goaltending matchup tonight. Dylan Wells will get the start for the Grizzlies. It will be his second start in a Utah uniform. And Nolan Mayer is going to get the start for the Idaho Steelheads. This will be Mayer's third appearance in an Idaho uniform. We'll see who can dictate the pace and tempo of this game. Grizzlies probably want to slow it down a little bit, whereas Idaho, they were a high-powered offense in their three-game series against the Tahoe Night Monsters. They're probably going to want to speed things up just a little bit. Special teams are going to play a factor here in this series. Idaho's got a power play of 21.4% in a small sample size. For the Grizzlies, obviously, they're looking to improve their penalty kill this season, so watch out for the special teams. Utah is obviously looking for their first power play goal. This could be the night to do it. They've got some good options and goal scorers with Tyler Gratton in front of the net and Nil Shea. And I'm really looking forward to the pro debut of Aiden Hansen-Bukata. When we come back on the other side, we'll talk about Hansen-Bukata and the potential impact he's going to have on the Grizzlies this season. We're in business on a Friday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting, and it's interesting we're talking about Charles-Edouard Dastu, and the Grizzlies over the years have really had a great tradition of scoring defensemen. You think back to the 2017-2018 season when Taylor Richard, pound for pound the toughest guy in the league, was tied for the league lead with 17 goals among defensemen, as he was tied with Matt Register, who at that time was with the Colorado Eagles. Register, the longtime Steelhead, is back for another stint with the Allen Americans. You think about Dastu's 26 goals in the regular season, another 19 in the 2022 playoffs. Josh Wesley, a couple years ago, was an outstanding scoring defenseman. And I think, if I remember right, he was second among league defensemen in goals. And then last year, Derek Dashke was a great performer for the Grizzlies, and he had 16 goals and was first team all-league. And if you think about it, the Grizzlies have plenty of candidates of guys that can end up carrying that mantle for great scoring defensemen, one of which is making his pro debut tonight, and that's Aiden Hansen-Bukata, who played last season at The Ohio State University, and he led the Buckeyes with 29 assists. He was also a plus 11. Before that, he played at RIT for 4 seasons, and not only was he a great distributor, you think about 3 straight outstanding assist years at the college level in the 2022-23 season, which was his third at the college level. He had 30 assists in 37 games and was a plus 19. 2 years ago, which was his last year at RIT, he had 26 goals and 31 points and a plus 23 rating, which led his club. And then last year, he mentioned with the Buckeyes, 29 assists. He was a plus 11, and he led the Buckeyes. So you think about 3 straight seasons where he had 31 points or more. And to talk about the impact in plus-minus terms, he was a plus 53 combined in his last 3 seasons of college hockey. Hansen-Bukata is 6'1", 195 pounds. He played in 1 game with the Syracuse Crunch of the American Hockey League. So it's his Grizzlies debut, but it's not his pro debut. It's his second pro game, and we're certainly excited to see him. He's 26 years old, 6'1", 195 pounds. He was born in Delta, British Columbia, and he's going to be an outstanding defenseman for John Buchanan's crew. Last weekend, we saw some great things from Christian Felton. His goal on Sunday was one of the highlights of the week in the league. I mean, you're talking about a goal where he fired a backhand shot. It was blocked away by the goaltender, and then he batted it about waist high, hit the bar, and went down and in the net for a goal. He's got great hands, and he's got outstanding speed. He's a terrific skater. I'm really looking forward to seeing Christian Felton. It's the first regular season game where I'm in the same building as the one the game's being played in. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Felton. I'm really looking forward to seeing Hanson Buchanan against the Steelheads and the Grizzlies. Not only you talk about those two guys, but Garrett Pike's been a terrific defenseman for the Grizzlies through one weekend. He had the 2 goals against Greenville in the victory. And Noah Gansky, you talk about a guy that's 6'7", 207 pounds. He's been a plus performer the last couple seasons with the Fort Wayne Comets. And I was really impressed last week with what I saw from Luke Salem, who's going to be wearing number 6. He makes quick decisions with the puck. And Avery Winslow was a defenseman that was really sharp for the Grizzlies, a former Orlando Solar Bear. So a lot of fun things here with the Grizzlies in terms of the defensive unit. Utah's going to go with 11 forwards and 6 defensemen. When we come back, we'll go over the lineups for both teams. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies Hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in about 10 minutes from now here at Idaho Central Arena. The Steelheads will have a lot of pomp and circumstance with this being their home opener as they won 2 out of 3 games against the Tahoe Night Monsters. And for the Grizzlies, they're looking for a winning road trip. They picked up 3 out of a possible 6 standings points in the Eastern time zone. There were a few transactions this week as the Grizzlies made a trade on October 21st, picking as they traded Luke Lemaster to the Cincinnati Cyclones. Cincinnati then dealt him to Kansas City, and the Grizzlies and all that acquired the rights to Dante Sheriff, a forward who spent a couple years with Tulsa and last year was with Cincinnati. Sheriff was then traded yesterday from the Grizzlies to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Stepan Timofeyev will join the Grizzlies next week. He had a couple good years with Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals. And last season, at the middle of the year, he ended up playing with Greenville. He actually played against the Grizzlies last Friday in the regular season opener as a member of the Swamp Rabbits. Timofeyev, 30 years old. He brings some experience and a lot of speed to the table. And he will join John Buchanan's crew, we believe, next week for the Grizzlies homestand against the Jacksonville Icemen. One other bit of transaction, Mick Messner, who had appeared in 153 consecutive games for the Grizzlies, suspended by the team. It appears that he's going to be headed to a club in Europe. And we certainly wish him well. Mick Messner had some great moments with the Grizzlies, and so he's been placed on team suspension, and we really don't know anything other than that. And certainly we're going to miss Mick Messner, but the Grizzlies will roll on as they will have 11 forwards and 6 defensemen on the roster tonight. Let's go over the starters for both teams. First, for the visiting Utah Grizzlies, who are led by head coach John Buchanan, and the assistant coach is Ryan Anderson. Jack Skilly, also an assistant coach and director of skill development, and Garrett Metcalf's been working with the goaltenders. Athletic trainer is Brooke Timoney, and the head equipment manager is DJ McFarland. Getting the start in net is former Steelhead Dylan Wells. This will be a second appearance in a Grizzlies uniform. He saved 33 of 36 on Saturday night against the Atlanta Gladiators. Wells, we mentioned, a former Steelhead. He spent 2 years with Idaho. They were parts of 2 seasons as he appeared in 2 games with the 2022-23 Idaho Steelheads, where he had a 2-0 record and a .934 save percentage. He also spent 7 games with the Steelheads in the 2023-24 campaign, where he had a 7-0 record with a 3.27 goals against average. So he was 9-0 all time as a member of the Steelheads. And he's an outstanding goaltender, former 5th-round pick of the Edmonton Oilers back in 2016. Wells, 27 years old. He's 6'2" and 190 pounds. The former Hobie Baker Award winner, Dryden McKay, is the backup. The starting forwards for the Grizzlies include what I think is one of the fastest forward lines in the entire league. Neil Shea is going to be in the lineup for the Grizzlies in the right wing, or the left wing. He's got 1 assist in 3 games. He had 19 goals in 36 games last season. Watch out for Neil Shea. He is the pick-to-click of Nadine Hellewell. I'll give you my pick-to-click here soon. Starting center for the Grizzlies will be Luke Manning. He's got 1 assist in 3 games. Manning ended last season strong. He's 5'10 and 190 pounds. We want to give a congratulations to Luke Manning, who recently got married. And he's certainly thrilled about that, but I'm not entirely sure he knows what he's getting into there. Ty Voigt's going to be the starting right wing. He has 2 goals in 3 games. He's a former draft pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs back in 2021. And Voigt last season was with the Cincinnati Cyclones. The starting forwards once again are Shea, Manning, and Voigt. Second forward line on Job Mechanics lineup card includes Adam Berg, who's making his regular season debut. It's Berg's 3rd season with the Grizzlies. He'll be wearing number 19, and he's going to be lined up next to Griffin Ness, who's wearing number 77. Ness looking for his first point this season. And Jack Ricketts, who scored his first pro goal last Saturday when the Grizzlies were in Atlanta. That was game 2 of the regular season. Ricketts had 3 outstanding years at the college level in terms of goal scoring, so watch out for him. He's going to be wearing number 28. Third forward line from left to right's pretty strong. It's going to include Tyler Gratton, who's wearing number 59. Gratton picked up an assist on the Christian Felton goal last Sunday. Gratton, a second-year pro, who played last season with the Reading Royals, and he led Reading with 20 goals. Danny Genev is making a return of sorts. He's probably looking for a revenge game. He was with Idaho for training camp, and remember, he scored a goal in both of the preseason games against the Grizzlies 2 weeks ago. He was acquired in a trade from Idaho to Utah last week, and Danny Genev is going to be wearing number 26. If I remember right, he was number 11 for the Steelheads in the preseason. First-year pro out of Penn State. He's got 1 assist in 3 games. And we'll also see Reed Lebster on that same line. Lebster has no points in 3 games, so he's looking for his first point of the season. You're talking about an outstanding third forward line, if that's what it is, on Mechanics lineup card with Gratton, Genev, and Reed Lebster. And the fourth line forwards are John Gillott, the first-year pro at Holy Cross, and he's going to be lined up with Evan Friesen. They're going to be rotating in and out. So the Grizzlies are going to have quite a bit of a mismatch, and you're not necessarily going to see the same 3 forwards on the ice because Friesen and Gillott are going to get regular minutes. So that's the 11 forwards for the Grizzlies tonight. Rylan Kovacevic and Maxim Barbashev, as well as Stepan Timofeyev, who was just recently acquired in a trade. Those are the 3 forward scratches for the Grizzlies this evening. The starting defensive pairing is going to be Garrett Pike, who's got 2 goals in 3 games. Both of those goals came last Friday in Greenville, and he's going to be paired up with Christian Felton, who has 1 goal and 1 assist in 3 games. Felton, who played at Merrimack College, is in his first full season as a pro. He spent 20 games between the AHL and ECHL last season, so he's still considered a rookie by the books. So that's going to be the starting defensive pairing. That's actually the 3rd defensive line on John Mechanics' lineup sheet. The top defensive pairing is going to be Avery Winslow and Aiden Hansen-Bucada. We mentioned Bucada earlier in the pregame show. He's making his professional debut. And we will also see Luke Salem paired up with Noah Gansky. That's certainly an interesting defensive pairing, and it certainly had a lot of success for the Grizzlies last week in the Eastern time zone. Salem has 1 assist in 3 games, and he's even in the plus-minus category. Gansky's making his 3rd appearance as a Grizzly. The 1 defensive scratch is Colby Enns, who's wearing number 5. Enns, this is the first time that he has missed a game this season. And if you joined us late, earlier this week, defenseman Luke LeMaster was traded to the Cincinnati Cyclones. And then I think he was actually then dealt from Cincinnati to Kansas City. So I believe he's actually a member of the Kansas City Mavericks. Well, here at Idaho Central Arena, they're announcing the Steelheads. They're going over the entire roster. Ty Pelton-Weiss gets a good hand from the crowd here. He's going to be serving the first of a 9-game suspension as he cross-checked a Tahoe player in the neck in one of the games last weekend. Idaho's got a record of 2-1. This is their home opener. All 3 of those games were at Tahoe Blue Event Center. The starting defensive pairing for the Steelheads is Charlie Dodaro, number 81, and he's going to be paired up with the veteran Samuel Jardine. Jardine is scoreless in 3 games. He is 6'1" and 205 pounds. Steelheads are going with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. Jardine and Dodaro get the start. We will see Matt Anderson paired up with Tommy Bergsland. Connor Punnett, who's got an NHL contract with Dallas, he's going to be paired up with Aiden Hershuk. And the 7th defenseman is Jeff Baum, who spent the last 4 years in the EIHL with Belfast. So that's the 7 defensemen on Everett Sheen's lineup card. The assistant coach is Keenan Kelly. Idaho's wearing a black jersey with silver on the shoulders and silver on the bottom half of the jersey. The LA Kings and Las Vegas Raiders called. They want their jerseys back. The starting forward line for the Steelheads includes their captain, Nick Canati, who's wearing number 3. He is 5'9", 165 pounds, and Canati had a good weekend against Tahoe where he had 1 goal and 1 assist and a +2 rating. So Canati, the fourth-year Steelhead's going to be in the starting lineup, as is fourth-year Steelhead Jade Miller. Watch out for him. He'll take a lot of the key faceoffs for the Steelheads. He's wearing number 26. And also in the starting lineup is Mitch Wall, who's wearing number 7. Wall spent 2 years with the Grizzlies. If you don't remember him, that's because it was quite a while ago. It was the 2011-2012 season, and then the following year back in the 2012-2013 campaign, and he was quite a star. His hockey DB page looks like an encyclopedia. His first year with the Grizzlies in 38 games, that's the 2011-2012 campaign. Wall had 20 goals and 20 assists, and he had 2 assists in 3 playoff games. In the 2012-2013 season with Utah, in 45 games, he had 19 goals and 40 assists and 115 penalty minutes. So he was all over the place. He had 2 assists in 4 playoff games with Utah back in 2013. So that's the starting forwards. It's going to be Canati, Wall, and Miller. You'll also see the top forward line quite a bit of Francisco Arcuri with Brendan Hoffman and Caleb Pearson. Making his pro debut is Angus McDonald. He's only 20 years old. He's somebody the Steelheads are certainly excited about. McDonald just added to the Steelheads roster. He's making his pro debut tonight. We'll also see Liam Malmquist in there, as well as Nick Ports, Robbie Holmes, and Mason Nevers. As McDonald gets a good hand, Nick Canati gets a hand. He's wearing the captain's C for the Steelheads. Alternate captain is Jade Miller. Miller's got an A on his sweater, and Sam Jardine has the other A for Idaho. Grizzlies are on the ice, stretching out in a white jersey with black numbers and professional green trim. They wore the black jerseys in each of their 3 games in Eastern Time Zone. 1 game against Greenville and 2 against the Atlanta Gladiators. Well, for the Grizzlies, it's going to be important to get off to a fast start, as obviously Idaho's a team that's built a lot of momentum, and really Idaho scored a lot of goals, 15 of them in 3 games against the Tahoe Night Monsters. The 5 starters for the Grizzlies are at their blue line. Grizzlies will skate from left to right here in the first period. Good crowds filing in here to Idaho Central Arena as the Grizzlies take on the Steelheads. Face-off's going to be a little bit late. It's already 7:12 here in the Mountain Time Zone. It looks like we're going to have a moment of silence here from Boise. So we have a moment of silence for Brad Carlson. So that's a moment of silence for Brad Carlson. They've got number 25 at center ice, Carlson jersey. When we come back, we'll have face-off on the other side. You're listening to the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
It's a great night for hockey as two big standings points are on the line as the Utah Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads in the first of a two-game home-and-home. Grizzlies are here tonight in Boise, and then the scene shifts to Maverick Center for the Grizzlies home opener as the Grizzlies take on the same Idaho Steelheads. It's a pro debut for Aiden Hansen-Buchanan from the Utah side, and for Idaho, it's a pro debut for Angus McDonald, who's a 20-year-old who's 5'10" and 185 pounds. Referee tonight is Hunter Mottinger. The linesmen are Joshua Burkhart and Dominic Valentine. Grizzlies start out with the speedy forward line of Neil Shea, Luke Manning, and Ty Voigt, and a defensive pairing of Christian Felton and Garrett Pike. And in net is the former Steelhead Dylan Wells, who was 9-0 over 2 seasons with Idaho. As Nolan Mayer gets the start for Idaho, he is 2-0 with a 4.5 old goals against average and .847 save percentage. Kanadi, Jade Miller, and Mitch Waller, the starting forwards, with Sam Jardine and Charlie Dodaro. His brother Chris Dodaro is a scratch. Face off at center ice, Manning against Miller. It's won by Manning as a glance off of Felton. Skate, we're underway. Neil Shea skates the left side, takes a lefty shot, saved by Mayer. First shot of the game was taken by Neil Shea 5 seconds in, as Pike gives some lumber to Mitch Wall, the 35-year-old veteran. As Pike runs it down back deep in his own zone. Manning gets there first. He'll bounce one off a Wall. Wall, right side, trying to fire a backhand shot and missed wide. Wall gets up top to Jardine. He'll slide it to his right for Charlie Dodaro. He'll take a shot that's blocked away by Jade Miller and a combination of Pike in the area. As Grizzlies will spin it back to Luke Manning. Manning crosses center ice. Both Shea and Manning are wearing A's on their sweater as Luke Salem replaces Pike for his first shift of the game. Reed Lipster out there as well as Luke Manning loses his helmet on a collision with Mitch Wall, and the whistle blows 39 seconds into the game. As Mitch Wall talking with the linesman, is it going to be a penalty on Wall? And it looks like it is. Utah's going to get a quick power play. 2 minutes for high sticking as Mitch Wall goes to the box, the 35-year-old former Grizzly in his second stint with Idaho. Grizzlies will have a power play with Evan Friesen. He'll take the draws out there with Luke Manning and Garrett and Griffin Ness. Danny Genev's also out there, and the defenseman on this power play unit is Luke Salem. Grizzlies with the first shot of the game, and that was 5 seconds in with Neil Shea. Idaho wins the draw, and they'll spin it around the boards all the way to the near side. It goes past Genev as Salem will stride after it. He gets the puck. He stomps behind Dylan Wells' net. Genev cuts behind Salem as Salem starts the attack in a sweet mustache. Right wing feed out to Ness. Now back towards Genev, who gets the new tries with ease. Crosses the center ice, moves to his left. He'll slide one towards Manning entering the zone. As Manning rolls it back, Genev couldn't get it. Idaho will tap it off the near wing board. Salem keeps it in. Throws it towards Ness. Ness into traffic. He couldn't accept the puck, and Nick Ports will backhand it all the way towards Wells. Wells skates behind his net with Brendan Hoffman chasing nearby. Hoffman spins around, and Wells drops it for Salem. Salem dangles back and forth. They'll guide it to his left for Manning. Manning a new try, so push it back to Genev across the center ice. Now he moves to his right. Genev stops just outside the right circle. They'll throw it towards the near goal line for Friesen. Friesen dangles, drops it for Ness, gets it to Salem down the middle. He takes a lefty shot, and it's blocked by Kanadi. Puck back to the right point for Genev. He fires a lefty shot, and that's sticked away by Mayer. Puck goes back up top to Salem. He'll tap it off the Kanadi stick as the puck goes back to new tries. Grizzlies reset. Manning over the line as he stops on the right side, but he gets it taken away. Jade Miller races, but Tyler Gratton at neutral ice. And breaking news, Tyler Gratton is wearing the captain's C. First time he's been a captain with Utah. He was a captain at Arizona State University in the 2023-24 season. So breaking news, Tyler Gratton is the new Grizzlies captain. Reed Lebster crosses center ice. He'll move it to his left for Shea over the line. Shea gets it back to Lebster, but it's knifed away by his Steelhead. As Ty Voigt towards the left corner gets it back up top to Pike. Pike will pedal to his right, and he'll drop it back to Shea. Shea in the left circle, gets to the middle for Lebster off his stick, and it flies, stays in play near the Steelheads bench. Voigt gets to the right corner as Gratton got his stick lifted by Jeff Baum. Puck goes back to the left point, and it's kept in by Pike. Shea to Pike as we play 2.5 minutes. We're late in the power play. Shea gets it left side as the Steelheads are back at full strength. Shea fires the Shea to Gratton. Shot to score! Tyler Gratton gets his first in a Utah uniform. That's your captain, Grizzlies fans, and he gives Utah a 1-0 lead. That's going to be a 5-on-5 goal as Wall came out of the box. Shea was on the left side. Gratton was at the near goal line. And Shea just found a wide open Tyler Gratton. Gratton had 20 goals with Reading last year. It's his first as a Grizzly. And Utah takes a 1-0 lead with 17-18 left in the first. Draw one by Utah as Avery Winslow will drop it back looking for Adam Berg. Berg in his first shift of the season, third year with the Grizzlies. He also spent some time with Cincinnati in this league and was also in the EIHL to start last year. Out to center ice, Nevers off his stick. Avery Winslow, he gets a good side check from McDonald. McDonald making his pro debut. Angus is his first name. No relation. Actually, there would be no relation to Angus Redmond. That's a first name, and first names aren't related. As Aiden Hansen-Bukana, first shift as a pro, as a Grizzly, second game as a pro, first time with the Grizzlies. He was in one AHL game with Syracuse last year. Liam Malmquist gains center ice. He gets belted by Bukana. As Jalot dumps it in, he got hit by Nevers along the way. Grizzlies will reshuffle the deck and get a 5-man unit on the ice. We played 3.5 minutes. Utah leads 1-0. As walking down the middle is our Curry. He takes a lefty shot and it goes wide. Francisco Arcuri, a very talented forward. Voigt will bounce one off the stick of Matt Anderson, not to be mistaken by Nick Anderson, who I called him all preseason. Puck goes into the near corner of the Grizzlies zone. As Idaho gets down to Arcuri, he gets back checked by Salem. Salem goes down. Arcuri loses his left glove. He wants a penalty, none to be had. Grizzlies will float it into the Idaho zone and switch up defensemen as Pike and Felton enter. We played 4 minutes. Utah leads 1-0 as Tyler Gratton, the new Grizzly captain, scores with Shea and Lebster getting the assists. Shea with the main assist as Gratton collides with Hoffman at the Utah line. Still has to get it to Robbie Holmes. No bounce one in. Holmes gets hit by Pike. Felton runs it down. He'll drop it back for Pike. He slides along the far wing boards for Gratton. Over to Reed Lebster. Lebster crosses center ice. And he tried to get towards Genev, and it's poked away by number 14, Connor Punnett, who's a 6'2", 205-pound defenseman with an NHL deal. Holmes over the line, trying to get around Felton, who knifed it away. Lebster will wobble it towards neutral ice. Punnett gets it, and he will spin it along the boards as Miller drops it for Holmes right side. Holmes with a backhand shot that goes through the crease, but all the way towards the near corner. Punnett left side, shot saved by Wells as Holmes gets knocked down by Gratton. Getting after a loose puck is Felton. He spins one at center ice for Genev. Genev left side as he'll tap it off the Steelhead stick. Puck bounces after spinning in the air about 10 feet as Punnett will drop it off. Utah leads 1-0, 5 minutes in. Idaho trying to get towards Malmquist. He's behind the Grizzlies defense, no icing. Malmquist gets hit by Bukata as Winslow gets it back towards the right corner. Wall gets up top to Punnett. He'll take a lefty shot, saved by Wells. Rebound goes towards Jalot. John Jalot wearing number 24. Moves Diz left for Voigt as a stick gets broken, and that's Tadero. Tadero wanted a penalty, so he yells at the referee as Punnett comes off the ice. He gets a stick from Chris Bestel, the equipment manager. As we played 5.5 minutes, Utah leads 1-0. Idaho's outshot Utah 3-2. Wall gets around Voigt, steps over the Utah line, and he'll bounce one in deep as it ricochets off the end boards. It's floated by Gansky, hits the top of the boards, and is whistled. As no delay of game, even though Gansky was in his own zone, as if there was glass, it would have ricocheted off the glass. The play stops action in the Grizzlies zone. And welcome to Utah, Tyler Gratton. Remember, he was the captain at Arizona State University 2 years ago. And he announces his presence with authority. He scored 242 win with Shea and Lebster gained the assist. It is credited as a 5-on-5 goal, although the guy, Mitch Wall, coming out of the penalty box didn't have any impact on the plays. It was probably 2 or 3 seconds after he came out of the box. Idaho, left side. Baum takes a shot that's wide. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Hoffman, wraparound shot saved by Wells. Grizzlies cleared off the near wing boards, but not out. Baum spins it around to the right corner for Arcuri. Arcuri pitchforks it to Hoffman. Hoffman shadowed by Salem. Now the puck goes back towards Hoffman, skates towards the far goal line. He'll drop it for Pearson. Over to Arcuri. Daniels back and forth. Arcuri will bounce one in front. Shot by Hoffman, saved by Wells. Grizzlies take it with Jack Ricketts. Ricketts collides with Pearson. Now Ricketts gets it back, gets the Idaho line, and he'll bounce one in. Griffin Ness chases after it. Adam Berg gets off the boards, left point, and he spins it back around to the right corner. As Ricketts collides with the Steelhead, Griffin Ness in the area. Felton looking nearby. Puck goes sliding towards the left side. Pike runs it down, left circle. I tried to center one out in front. It's sticked away. Pike gets it back, looking for a wraparound shot save. And the Steelheads will clear it off the far wing boards. Pearson will carry it out to center ice. 2-on-2. Idaho in the attack line. Pearson, he'll take a righty shot that goes wide. Holmes gets the puck, skates towards the left goal line. Tried to feather one in front. Pearson couldn't get it. Now right side shots bounced off of the backside of Pearson. Now Griffin Ness gets the puck. He'll bounce it off of Hoffman, who keeps it in. And the puck ricochets off the top of the boards. Puck slides towards the near corner as Pike gets hit by Holmes. Berg gets the puck, and he'll bounce it off of Nevers. Now Berg gets it back, pivots near the Grizzlies bench, and he'll slide it back into the Grizzlies zone for Pike. He gets it to Felton, who stops behind Wells' net. 12:45 on a moving clock. Utah leads 1-0 on Tyler Gratton's first of the year. And yes, we announce it live during the game. Tyler Gratton is the new Grizzlies captain. Felton turns it over. Righty shot goes wide as Nevers missed the net as he picked Felton's pocket. Winslow at center ice, gains the red line. He'll bounce it in as Winslow will skate towards the left point. Puck goes to Voigt. He tried to center it, and ricochets off the stick onto Shea, who had to bobble off his stick. Jade Miller, right side, steps over the offensive line. Grizzlies back defensively, center and pass onto Wells, who makes a save. Winslow has a glance off his stick. McDonald, wearing number 27, gets it in deep as Nevers shields Voigt from the puck. Now Nevers reverses his field, now stops. And now Nevers going back and forth, fiddling and diddling, gets to Anderson now up top to Punnett. Punnett skates just outside the left circle, guides it towards Anderson, who feeds it back to Punnett. Punnett back to Anderson. Anderson's down on the left point, gets it across to Punnett. He's on the right side, gets around one skater, backhands it in front. Now the Grizzlies will clear it out. Boy, a lot of traffic out in front of Dylan Wells. Utah's going to get called for icing with 11:40 left in the first. So much traffic in front of Wells, kind of reminded me of I-15 on rush hour. Steelheads have outshot the Grizzlies 8-4, but it's Utah that leads 1-0 as Tyler Gratton got his first of the year with Neil Shea, and Reed Lebster gained the assist. Time of goal, 2:42 in. Wall will take the draw against Luke Manning. Manning, the St. Thomas product, second full year as a Grizzly. Linesman tells Manning to get out of the face-off circle. Gratton's got the C. Manning and Shea are wearing the A's on their white sweater with a black shirt with a black number, professional green trim. Draw one by, and it stays around Manning. One by Steelheads. Malmquist with a lefty shot that goes wide. Might have bounced off the Wells' right arm. Voigt will bounce it out to center ice. Idaho across the center, and Punnett will whip it back around the boards. Voigt accepts the puck, and he'll bounce it off of Herscher. And Hershuk trying to bring it back in. He's offside. Whistle blows with 11:24 left in the first period. The new captain, Tyler Gratton, gets his first of the year, and Utah leads 1-0. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Draws at neutral ice after the Steelheads were offside. 11:24 is the time remaining first period. Utah leads 1-0 as Tyler Gratton scored 2:42 win with Shea, and Reed Lebster gained the assist. Gansky with the puck as Utah won the faceoff. Gets ahead to Lebster, one hands it in. Gratton shields Punnett from the puck. Gratton gets the loose puck in the left corner, skates back towards the point, loses it. Kanadi will float one out to neutral ice. Puck hit the opposite near Gratton as Kanadi, Wall just was a little bit too anxious. He stepped into the Grizzlies zone before Kanadi came in with the puck as the Steelheads are offside with 11:07 left in the first period. John Buchanan getting some water on the Grizzlies bench. He's the first-year Grizzlies head coach, and Ryan Anderson's the assistant. DJ McFarland, my roommate on this road trip, is the equipment manager. And first-year trainer is Brooke Timoney. Genev will take the neutral zone draw. He wins it. He was with Idaho in training camp. Gansky will move to his right. Now he gets to Genev, who moves it to the Lebster right side. Lebster over the line, dangles back and forth. He loses control of the puck. Francisco Curry, the very talented forward. He'll sky it in. Salem chases after it. Well, it looked like our Curry was in Steelheads territory, but they play on as Salem out towards Lebster. Lebster right wings a pass out to Gansky, who steps over the line. Gansky, a great skater for his size, trying to get it back towards Lebster. It's poked away by Charlie Dodaro. His brother Chris Dodaro is a scratch tonight. As Pearson gets around Genev, he'll take a righty shot. Saved by Wells. Boy, Pearson overpowered his way around Genev. Got alone in the left circle. Fired a shot. Wells made the stop and didn't allow Pearson to get a second chance. That's one of the things you'll see from a goaltender like Dylan Wells, is he doesn't allow many rebounds. He was 9-0 as a Steelhead over a 2-year stretch. And Dylan Wells and Dryden McKay provide a very strong 1-2 combination for the Grizzlies. Evan Friesen will take the draw against Jade Miller. Left circle of the Grizzlies zone. Utah leads 1-0. We're about halfway through the first period. Idaho wins the draw. Holmes will get around Pike and get around the net towards the far side. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Holmes gets hit in the back by Pike. As taken away is John Gillot. Gillot gets bounced off the boards by Nevers. Puck goes back to neutral ice. Idaho skates towards the Grizzlies bench, and Jardine will tap it off the boards towards Wells, who will cover up as he was sprawling towards his left. And he makes a stop, holds on with 10:09 left in the first. Neil Shea talking with one of the linesmen. Still, it might have been offside. That's why the whistle blew. It wasn't necessarily Wells covering up, as the draw is going to be near the Grizzlies bench at neutral ice. Friesen, Gillot, and Shea are the three forwards. Grizzlies are going to roll all 11 forwards just about evenly tonight, and as a result, they're not necessarily going to be the same three-man unit. Shift in and shift out. Hanson Buchanan in his Grizzlies debut gets it ahead as John Gillot runs it down. He's in the Steelhead zone. Right wing shot saved by Mayer in the butterfly position as Gillot tried to go low on him. Winslow keeps it in. Left point will bounce it. The only guys there are Steelheads. The Grizzlies make a line change. Ricketts enters the ice as Holmes gets the puck. 9:42 on a moving clock. Utah leads 1-0. Idaho's outshot Utah 10-6. Puck bounces off a Nessa's skate as John Gillot gets to center ice, and he'll spin it back around the boards. Mayer cuts it off behind his net, and he'll pitch it around the wall. McDonald in his pro debut ahead to Miller. Miller gains center ice, gets back checked by Ricketts, and taking the puck away is Ness. As Salem back in the Grizzlies zone, will move it to his right for Gansky. Gansky feeds it to Ness at center ice. Off his stick, and it flies about 5 feet in the air, and it's gloved by Mayer in the crease. 9:17 is the time remaining. First period, Utah leads 1-0 on Captain Tyler Gratton's first as a Grizzly. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
We're less than 24 hours away from the Grizzlies home opener. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. It's going to be a fun atmosphere at Maverick Center. Make sure to join us. More action after this.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Grizzlies score first for the second time this season. Utah is 0-0-1 when scoring first. They tallied the first goal last Saturday against the Atlanta Gladiators. Adam Berg, Griffin Ness, and Jack Ricketts to the forward line from left to right. Ness will take the offensive zone draw for the Grizzlies. He gets it back to Salem. Salem centering pass. He was looking for Ness or for Adam Berg. Glanced up at his stick as Gansky, he's in deep over towards Ness. Now Adam Berg gets pushed towards the boards by a Steelhead. Puck goes back towards Ness wearing number 77 as he tries to force his way behind Idaho's net. He gets to Berg on the right side. Berg, he dances around. He gets pinned towards the boards as he keeps his balance, keeps his feet. Berg, one of the stronger players on the Grizzlies. As Ness will throw it back towards the opposite corner as Aiden Hershuk, the other number 77. Penalty is going to be on the Grizzlies. McDonald centers it to Berg, who touches up, and we get a whistle as a Steelhead had lost his stick deep in the Idaho zone, and they put both palms in the air, and Noah Gansky is going to go to the box. So it's going to be Idaho's first power play of the game. Gansky gets 2 minutes for slashing. 8:41 left in the first period. Idaho's power play in a small sample size this season is 21.4%. Grizzlies are 3 for 4 this year on the penalty kill. Remember, the one power play goal they did allow was in the overtime session against the Atlanta Gladiators. Hoffman will take the drive, wins it for Idaho as the Steelheads will get it back in deep as Pike gets hit in the back by Hoffman. Pearson joins the play. Felton holding his ground with our Curry. 2 Grizzlies and 3 Steelheads in the scrum. As puck goes towards the far circle, it's knifed away from Lepster. Now back around to Pearson, who's in the left corner. Idaho skating from right to left in the period. Pearson will take a righty shot that's blocked by Pike. Hoffman gets the puck and he feeds up top to Matt Anderson. He'll get to the high slot. Now back to Anderson from Bergsland. Now Tommy Bergsland gets the puck, dances back and forth. He'll move to his right, and he'll reverse it back to Anderson. The left side backs to Bergsland, who's now on the right side. Over to our Curry, backs to Bergsland. Over to Anderson. Our Curry dangles just outside the right circle. Feed it a hot pass. It goes over the stick of Hoffman. Pearson gets it off the boards. Caleb's his first name with a K. Pearson stops, skates back towards the left circle, drop it back for Bergsland. Over to Anderson, back to Tommy Bergsland, wearing number 5, 6'3", 185 pounds. He was outstanding last week. Our Curry will skate around Lepster towards the left circle, drop it for Pearson. Pearson will fire it towards the right corner. Our Curry gets it. Our Curry will drop it off as Bergsland skates towards the right corner, dangling back and forth. He reverses his field. Now Bergsland feeds up top to our Curry in the high slot. He'll take a lefty shot, and it's blocked by Grattan. Bergsland gets it towards Pearson, back to Bergsland, left side. He fires the righty shot, and that one sticked away as it looked like Hoffman was trying to redirect it. Puck bounces over Anderson's stick. 35 seconds left in the Idaho power play, and the Grizzlies get 4 fresh tires on their penalty kill. Idaho will switch things up as well. Utah leads 1-0. Just over 7 minutes is left in the first period. Kanani gets the puck, dangles back and forth, crosses center ice, slides towards his left, gets to Malmquist, who loses control down the middle of the ice. Jack Ricketts will clear it all the way out. Nolan Mayer behind his net as he'll lay it. 10 seconds left in the power play as Baum drops it back for Kanadi in his 4th year of the Studs. Over to Malmquist, back to Kanadi. He gets around Ricketts over the line, gets to the right side. He'll take a lefty shot that goes wide. He missed the net stick side on Wells. As Gansky's out of the box, Grizzlies are 1 for 1 on the penalty kill and 4 for 5 so far this season. Salem gets it towards Voigt. It goes over a stick. He didn't get a piece of it, so icing on Utah with 6:29 left in the first period. Grizzlies last year didn't take a ton of penalties, and they haven't taken many penalties here so far this season. And obviously one of the big things they want to improve on from last year to this season is the penalty kill. And remember, the only power play goal they've allowed was a 4-on-3 overtime goal to Atlanta last Saturday. Ricketts will take the draw against Miller. Ricketts, a first-year pro. He's got an AHL contract with the Tucson Roadrunners. Draw one by Utah. Salem gets it towards Shea off his stick, and it slides deep into the Steelhead zone. No icing, though, as the Grizzlies will make a change. Voigt and Felton enter the ice, along with Shea, Manning, and Voigt. Idaho dangles back and forth, and they'll get to Punnett. Punnett drives it in as Nevers chases after. He's shadowed by Manning. Now behind the net, Felton loses balance, gets it back, and Pike takes the puck. Pike will bounce it off an Idaho stick as Manning gets the center ice. He'll dump it in as he collided with Hershuk. Aiden's his first name. He's got 1 assist in 3 games, does Hershuk. As Nevers crosses center ice, Mason Nevers shields Felton from the puck, gets around Felton. Now Nevers stops in the left corner. Cyrus to McDonald. McDonald has a glance off his skate, and Pike comes up with a puck. He'll slide it towards Felton in the near side. Felton loses his balance as he was falling down, drops it behind Utah's net. Grizzlies start the attack. Pike over to Shea at center ice. Puck wobbles back towards Pike. Pike dangles back and forth. Now he goes from one circle to the other for Felton. He slides it D to Pike. Pike over to Shea off his stick. Grizzlies dump it in. Utah will make a line change. Hanson Buconda will enter the action. He's making his Grizzlies debut. Second game as a pro. He played in 1 game with Syracuse at the end of last season. He had 3 outstanding years at the college level. As Wall gets up top to Jardine. Across to Charlie Dodaro. Right side will take a righty shot. Saving and bounces off a Grattan skate. Almost bounced it into his own net. Jardine left side accepts the puck. Gets it back to Wall. Wall gets pinned to the boards by Winslow. Puck goes towards Lepster. Lepster will pivot and start skating north-south. He lays it to the right side for Genev. Danny Genev on the right side. Cyrus it out toward looking for Grattan. It glanced off his stick. Lepster gets the puck. Lepster double team. Drops it off to Genev. Danny Genev loses it as the Steelheads come back the other way, skating from right to left. 4:38 on a moving clock. Utah leads 1-0. Idaho's outshot Utah 12-7. Sam Jardine back behind his net. Grizzlies will switch up forwards. Jalot and Friesen enter the ice with Luke Manning. Idaho gets out to neutralize. Racing across center ice is Pearson. He gets around Salem. Right side righty shot. Kick saved by Wells. Rebound shot. Blocker saved by Wells. Hoffman gets up top and it goes back to neutral ice. Jeff Baum, the 7th defenseman for Idaho tonight, whips it around the boards. Cut off by Wells, who has outstanding hands. He lays to the far corner. Grizzlies skate from left to right. Around the wall to Jalot at center ice. He gets belted by Punnett, but he's able to get it to Manning. 2-on-2 Manning over the offensive line. Waits for everybody else to enter as he tried to get across ice. Picked off by Pearson. As Pearson over the offensive line. Skates towards the right side. Trying to get around Felton. Puck slides towards Wells to the far goal line. Wells will bounce off the wall. It's kicked off the skate of Baum, who gets to Pearson over in the right corner. Pearson, his pass is picked off by Friesen. Friesen will kick it off of our Curry skate. Puck slides deep into the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies make a quick line change. Well, Utah's been sharp here so far. A lot of chances for Idaho, but the Grizzlies still lead 1-0. Punnett gets to center ice, across the red line, and he'll skip it around the wall. Pike back around the boards, gets to Winslow. Winslow looks over his shoulder, skates towards the near corner as Winslow gets belted by Holmes. Holmes goes down as 2-on-2 scrum. Winslow holds his ground, so does Berg. Miller with the puck as he collides with Pike, who does a good job of cutting off his pursuit. Scrum along the near corner boards of the Grizzlies zone as Wells looks over his right shoulder. Kanadi trying to get up top, but it goes past Anderson all the way deep into the Steelhead zone. Outlet pass by Mayer. Idaho gets out to Holmes, who couldn't handle it. Gansky lets it go, and he'll run it down. Gansky hustles after the puck. Noah Gansky will slide it ahead to Berge. Adam Berg tries to split a double team. Kanadi on the back check takes it away, and he'll dump it in deep. Gansky runs after it. Kanadi blasts Gansky. Boy, Kanadi may be 5'8", maybe 5'9", but he plays a physical game. Grizzlies dump it in. No icing on the play, although it does look like a delayed offside, and it's touched up by Ricketts. And we stop play with 2:28 left in the first. Tyler Gratton scored 2:42 in as Utah leads 1-0. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
We're getting a little noisy in Boise here late in the first period. 2:28's the time remaining. Utah leads 1-0 as Tyler Gratton was at the near goal line, found a pass from Neil Shea, and Gratton put it away. That was just after the Grizzlies' power play ended, so neither team has a power play goal, but the Grizzlies, their goal kind of acted as a power play goal as Mitch Wall, who was in the penalty box, didn't have enough time to react and get into the Steelhead zone. Draws in the Grizzlies' end. Over in the right circle, Utah skates from left to right as we see it from high top section 203. Grizzlies win the draw. Salem gets out to neutralize for Shea. Shea gets double teamed as Shea will back it out towards Salem. Salem dangles back and forth. He'll outlet it to center ice for Manning. It goes off him. Mayer plays it in the crease. He'll feed it to the near goal line for Jardine, who gets to Malmquist, who drops it. Shea tries to get around Mitch Wall. Now Voigt drops it for Shea. Shea on a double team, fires towards the net, but didn't get much on it. And Mayer is able to make a stop as there's 2:05 left in the first period, and the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. A good goaltending matchup. We've been talking about Dylan Wells, who's actually got a winning record in the American Hockey League, and Nolan Mayer for the Steelheads. He's a pretty interesting one. He had a good game against the Grizzlies in the preseason. Meyer last year played in one game with Providence, also has some AHL experience with Lehigh Valley. Meyer is 24 years old, 6 feet, 172 pounds. 2 minutes left in the first period. Idaho will sky it off a stick. Now bounces behind Meyer's net as Jardine gets the puck. Samuels, his first name, got plenty of pro experience. He'll lift it over the stick of Voigt. McDonald races after it. Felton behind Utah's net, loses the puck. Miller on the right side, take a lefty shot, and it's blocked away by Shea as Felton throws it from one corner to the other, run down by Pike. Pike accepts the puck, and he will sky it all the way deep into the Steelhead zone as Jardine gets it. Jardine, long-range pass, and McDonald's offside. Blue line to blue line pass, and it was actually Malmquist who tried to get the puck at the Utah line, but he was offside as the play stops with a minute 31 left in the first. And this offside whistle means that the draw is actually going to come back into the Steelhead zone. Less than 24 hours away from the Grizzlies home opener. Make sure to get your tickets at UtahGrizzlies.com. I've heard Ryan Smith say Utah shows up, and let's make sure to show up for the Grizzlies here tomorrow night. I know there's a lot of sports and entertainment options out there, not only tonight, but tomorrow as well. We appreciate everybody who chose the Grizzlies in their final hunt. As after tonight, we have 68 games in the regular season left, and the Grizzlies are hoping to have a very successful final hunt. And the home opener is going to be tomorrow night, 6:45 pregame show, face off at about 7:10. Genev crouches down low. He wins the offensive zone draw. Webster right side, sharp angle, saved by Meyer. As Webster will get it toward Genev. He'll drop it back for Hanson Buchanan. Right side, he'll take a lefty shot and goes over the stick of Gratton. Now wraparound shot saved by Meyer. Buchanan gets it back, feeds it across. Dangling back and forth. Webster will take a righty shot. He scores! Reed Webster gets his first of the year. He now has 2 points tonight, and the Grizzlies take a 2-0 lead. Boy, Webster got the puck. He was all alone on the left side. He's an outstanding shooter, and he fired a glove side past Meyer. And this Steelheads crowd is stunned as the Grizzlies have been outstanding here in the first 19 minutes of play. So Webster gets the goal. He led the Grizzlies in points after February 1st. And what a fake. He looked like he was about to lose the puck, regain control, and then fired a wrist shot past Meyer. As now the whistle blows, his action was deep in the Grizzlies zone. Now the draw is going to come back in the Idaho end. Steelheads argue the case, but Grizzlies will have another offensive zone draw with 1:06 left in the second period. Webster last year had 19 goals and 27 assists in 67 games. 2 years ago at Michigan State University, he had 6 goals in 35 games. Draw is going to be at center ice. Friesen will take it. Jalot and Voigt out there for the Grizzlies. Draw won by Idaho. Bergsland gets to Anderson wearing number 19. He's got great speed. Anderson will wobble it into the right corner deep in the Grizzlies zone. Salem plays the puck as he gets engulfed by Pearson. Gansky takes the puck. Gansky moves to his right, and he'll wobble it to center ice. About shoulder high, and Jalot goes past him. Arcuri bounced out to center ice for Pearson. Pearson tried to drop it for Wall. Taking the puck's Arcuri, who's an outstanding player. Great size-speed ratio. As Friesen will bounce it off Arcuri. Steelheads miss Ty Pelton-Bice, who's missing the first of a 9-game suspension as he cross-checked a Tahoe player in the neck last week at Tahoe Blue Event Center. Arcuri gets it towards Wall. He'll drop it back for Bergsland. Righty shot saved by Wells. Hacking away. The whistle. I thought the whistle blew. That was a quick whistle by the referee. Wells bobbled it. Idaho put it in the back of the net, but the referee felt that Wells had control of the puck, and the whistle blew. Mitch Wall argues the case for the Steelheads. 22.3 seconds left, and it's still 2-0 Utah. Well, it looked like Wells was making a body save. Hacking away was Anderson. Referee probably believed that Anderson was interfering with Wells' attempt to try to get the puck. Referee blew the whistle. Puck ended up getting nudged in the back of the net. Idaho fans can't believe it, but I had heard the whistle back about the time, just about when Wells had lost control of the puck. The whistle blew by referee Hunter Mottinger. So Wall will take the draw against Griffin Ness. Ness crouching down low. Puck won by Utah. Christian Felton will bounce it off the glass. Gloved and dropped by Bergsland. As he'll tap it off of Ness. Grizzlies clear it out. Pearson at center ice gets it. Pierce will move it to his right for Kanadi. Kanadi helicopters it to Wells. He gloves it and drops it. 8 seconds left in the period. As Kanadi gets hit in the face with a puck. He holds his face. Grizzlies come back up with it. 2 seconds left in the period. At the buzzer, Ness gets it knifed away, and that will do it for 20 minutes here at Idaho Central Arena. And they were 20 great minutes as the Grizzlies got a first period goal from Tyler Gratton and Reed Webster. Dylan Wells was outstanding in net. He stopped all 15 shots. And the Grizzlies, despite being outshot 15-11 in the first period, played outstanding defensively, and they lead 2-0 after 20 minutes. John Mechanic talking strategy with John Jalot. Mechanic's got an outstanding looking suit. It's kind of a grayish color suit. He got it from one of my favorite places, State and Liberty. Actually, what I'm wearing is from State and Liberty as well. That's also a favorite of Nick Golchek. Zamboni comes on the ice, and the Grizzlies head to the locker room. And when we come back in 2 minutes, we'll recap the first 20 minutes of play as Utah leads 2-0 here at Idaho Central Arena. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable, all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
After 20 minutes of play, Utah leads 2-0 on goals from Tyler Gratton and Reed Lebster. Idaho outshot Utah 15-11 in the first period, but it's the Grizzlies that have a 2-goal lead as they played outstanding defensively and really offensively. They moved the puck around well. The passing was crisp, and the Grizzlies won their fair share of 50-50 pucks along the boards. Idaho's Mitch Wall got a high sticking minor 39 seconds into the game. Grizzlies didn't have a ton of looks on that power play. When the power play ended, the Grizzlies were able to work the puck around 3 seconds after Wall came out of the penalty box, but not enough time for him to have any impact on the play. Puck was over towards the left circle. Nil Shea had it. And all alone at the near goal line was Tyler Gratton. All Shea had to do was get to Gratton, and Gratton pretty much had an empty net. Shea to Gratton to the back of the net as Meyer was looking over towards Shea and couldn't recover in time. It's Gratton's first as a Grizzly, and breaking news, he is the Grizzlies captain for the 2025-26 season. Neil Shea and Luke Manning have been wearing A's on their white sweaters tonight. Shea and Lebster with the assist, and Shea with the main assist on the Gratton goal. That was scored 2:42 into the game. It stayed a 1-0 game for quite a while. Then the Grizzlies got back on the board. And Noah Gansky of the Grizzlies got a slashing minor, 11-19 in. Grizzlies had a successful penalty kill. Idaho does like to work that play where they get the puck to one goal line and then feed it cross ice for a one-timer. Grizzlies did a good job of making sure that play didn't happen, and they did a good job smothering the Steelheads during their lone power play of the first period. Grizzlies extended the lead to 2-0 as Reed Lebster was all alone in the left circle, just dangled back and forth and fired a crafty-looking wrist shot that went past Nolan Meyer, and that extended the lead. Aiden Hansen-Bucata gets his first assist as a Grizzly, and Neil Shea also with an assist. So Lebster with 1 goal and 1 assist in the first period, and Neil Shea with an assist in both of Utah's goals. So that's Shea's first multiple-point game of the season. He had 12 multiple-point games, if I remember right, in 36 games last season. And it's really no surprise to see Aiden Hansen-Bucata get on the scoring sheet. After all, he was an assist machine in his last 3 years at the college level. Hansen-Bucata last season led the Buckeyes with 29 assists. That's Ohio State. And he was a big-time performer in the Big Ten. 2 years ago at RIT, he had 26 assists in 37 games. And 3 years ago, the 2022-23 season, his third year at RIT, he had 30 assists in 37 games. And I got to imagine this season, we're going to see Aiden Hansen-Bucata's name quite a bit in the assist column for the Grizzlies this year. Dylan Wells stopped all 15 shots he saw in the first period. Nolan Meyer saved 9 of 11 so far for the Steelheads. Now looks like my 6-year-old nephew Cassius is tuned into the game. Certainly glad to have Cassius here, as he's going to be rooting on the Grizzlies all season long. So Cassius is tuned in, and he's probably tuned in on the YouTube feed. Remember, YouTube is the audio stream provider of the Grizzlies, and Flow Sports, the exclusive video stream provider of the league. So Utah's got a 2-0 lead. A little bit of controversy among Steelheads fans' eyes, as there was a shot from the right side. Wells looked like he was absorbing it, and then it looked like a Steelhead was hacking away. It looked like Wells was starting to bobble the puck a little bit. Another Steelhead came in, put it in the back of the net, but the whistle blew from referee Hunter Mottinger to stop the play. And it was kind of a faint whistle, but you could hear it from up here, even with the headset I'm wearing. So a goal was disallowed. The whistle blew by Mottinger, and Grizzlies fans would say that Wells had it covered up anyway, and Idaho was just kind of hacking away at him. It was a little bit of a quick whistle, but the Grizzlies will certainly take it as they lead 2-0, and we'll see what happens here in the second period. The Grizzlies have now scored 4 first-period goals in 4 games. It's the second time this season the Grizzlies have played with a lead after one period. And we'll see what happens here in the second. But the Grizzlies have to like the effort of Neil Shea, who's a +2, and he's got 2 assists. Already a multiple-point game for Reed Lebster, who's got 1 goal and 1 assist. Tyler Gratton's a +2 with 1 goal. And, if you joined us late, and it's one of the things that, we kind of mentioned it right as Gratton was taking the ice. He is wearing the captain's C for the Grizzlies. And Neil Shea, Luke Manning are wearing A's tonight. We'll probably also see Noah Gansky and Adam Berg wear the A's for other games this season. So the Grizzlies have quite a few team leaders. Gratton was the captain of the Arizona State Sun Devils back in the 2023-24 season. When we come back to the intermission report, we'll go over the scores from around the world of sports, as well as ECHL and NHL scores. Utah leads 2-0 after one period, as we got a good crowd here at Idaho Central Arena. You're tuned in to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
First intermission, Utah leads 2-0 on goals from Tyler Gratton and Reed Lebster. Other action in the league, quite a few games have gone final. Reading defeated Greensboro 4-1, as Reading goes to 2-0-1 on the season. Greensboro's 0-2-1. Former Grizzly forward Brandon Sajan picked up the 4th goal of the game for Reading, as the Royals stay unbeaten in regulation with a 2-0-1 record. Iowa defeats Kalamazoo 5-1. Iowa is now 3-1 on the season. Trois-Rivières defeats Adirondack 3-1. Trois-Rivières 2-0 on the season. Jacksonville defeats Greenville 4-2. Brown had 2 goals for the Icemen. Remember, Jacksonville is going to be at Maverick Center next week. There's only one former Grizzly on the current Jacksonville roster, and that's 2019-2020 defenseman Peter Tischke. Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals defeat Worcester 4-1, as Grant Hebert and Ben Zalotti had 2 of the Norfolk goals. Rapace had the lone goal for the Worcester Railers. Late third period, the Atlanta Gladiators and their 3-0 record, they lead Florida 1-0. The lone goal of that game was scored by Chad Nychuk, 18:05 into the first. And I got to say, I give all the credit to Guy Carenza, first-year broadcaster of the Atlanta Gladiators, and look what they've done, 3-0, and they're a few minutes away from beating the perennial powerhouse Florida Everblades. Guy Carenza and Jared Youngman are doing some good things over in the Peach State, as Atlanta has a 1-0 lead with 4 minutes left in the third period. Late third, Cincinnati leads Fort Wayne 3-1. Alex Aliardi has the lone goal for Fort Wayne. Sikic, Justin Vive, and Noel have the goals for the Cyclones. Early third period, Bloomington leads Toledo 3-2. Former Grizzly Chad Hillebrand has one of the goals for Toledo, but it's Bloomington that leads by 1 goal early in the third period. After 2 periods, over at BOK Center, Tahoe leads Tulsa 4-1. Sloan Stanek has 2 goals. McGrew and Wall also have goals for Tahoe. And Armstrong has a goal for the Oilers, but that's not Craig Armstrong, the current Wheeling Nailer. Early second period over at the Monument, Jake Dickman has a goal for Wichita, and they lead Rapid City 1-0. Dickman, a longtime Wichita Thunder skater, and he's back for another year. And he's got the lone goal of the game. That came 6:09 into the first period. If you joined us late, or if you're just joining us, Grizzlies lead 2-0. Tyler Gratton scored 2:42 into the first period with Shea and Lepster gained the assist. Reed Lepster scored from the left wing, 18:48 in as he went glove side past Nolan Meyer. Lepster had 19 goals last season for the Grizzlies, and he's going to have a big season for John Buchanan's crew. Aiden Hansen-Buchanan in his second pro game and first as a Grizzly picked up an assist, as well as Neil Shea, who's got 2 first-period assists on the night. We'll come back and go over the NHL scores and maybe give an update on Game 1 of the World Series. After 20 minutes of play here at Idaho Central Arena, the Grizzlies lead the Steelheads 2-0. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
After 1 period, Utah leads 2-0. Game 1 of the World Series, Dodgers and Blue Jays played at Rogers Center, formerly known as Sky Dome, and they're tied at 2 in the top of the 6th inning. Teoscar Hernandez drove in Max Muncy in the 2nd inning to give the Dodgers a 1-0 lead. Then Will Smith singled to right field, scoring Mookie Betts, and that gave the Dodgers a 2-0 lead in the top of the 3rd. Then the bottom of the 4th inning, Dalton Varsho hit a 2-run homer, and that's where they sit tied at 2. Game 1 of the World Series, Dodgers and Blue Jays. 4 games in the National Hockey League tonight. It's going to be a lot of action tomorrow evening. How about those Utah Mammoth? A 4-0 homestand, and then Logan Cooley with a legendary first-period performance where he scored 3 goals and 1 assist. Utah ended up winning 7-4. Nick Schmaltz has been outstanding. Clayton Keller, the St. Louis native, went back home and had a successful game. And it looks like everything's coming together for the Mammoth. And the Grizzlies actually have 3 players from that organization. 3 guys with AHL contracts with Tucson. And that's Dylan Wells tonight, starting goaltender. Jack Ricketts also has an AHL contract in his first year as a pro. And Maxime Barbashev, who's yet to appear in a game this season, he's also on an AHL contract with Tucson. Looks like 3 of the 4 games have gone final in the NHL. Capitals defeat the Blue Jackets 5-1 as Alex Ovechkin scored 1 goal, and that was the second for the Capitals. And Ovechkin, if I remember right, what's he at, like 899 in terms of goals? He's coming up on the 900 career goal mark. John Carlson and Tom Wilson also found the back of the net for the Capitals. They defeat the Blue Jackets 5-1. Devils defeat the Sharks 3-1 as Doogie Hamilton had 2 power play goals and Connor Brown had an empty netter. So no 5-on-5 goals for the Devils tonight, but they defeat the Sharks 3-1. In fact, San Jose's lone goal was William Eklund on a power play goal. So no 5-on-5 goals in that game. Devils win 3-1. They outshot the Sharks 29-17. Sabres, they get a 5-3 victory. Looks like they're back on a roll after a tough start to the season as Buffalo Now won a few in a row. They were outshot 34-30, but the Sabres get a home victory against Toronto 5-3. And the lone game in progress, second intermission. Jets lead the Flames 4-2. Now looks like the officials are getting their report card from the crowd here at Idaho Central Arena, and I'm afraid some of them aren't giving them a passing grade. We'll come back in a couple minutes. The teams will be back on the ice. We'll have second period action. We'll skate 5-on-5 to start the second period, as Utah got first period goals from Tyler Gratton and Reed Webster. You've been tuned in to the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
We're about 23 hours away from the Grizzlies home opener. Make sure to get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com, as Grizzlies will take on these same Idaho Steelheads. We're about set for second period action, as Grizzlies will start out the second frame with Tyler Gratton, Reed Webster, and Danny Genev in a defensive pairing of Christian Felton and Garrett Pike. Idaho will start out with Nick Canati, Nick Ports, and Jade Miller. Miller's going to take the face-off against Danny Genev. Defensive pairing for Idaho to start the second period is Charlie Dodaro and Sam Jardine. Big crowd here in Boise. Not quite sure if it's a sellout. There's a few empty seats in section 7, about row 3, but otherwise looks to be pretty full. Linesman Joshua Burkhart's going to drop the puck. Grizzlies are going to skate from right to left as we see it from high atop section 203. Idaho from left to right. Grizzlies in a white jersey, black numbers, professional green trim. Idaho in a look that's reminiscent of the early 90s LA Kings, silver and black with white numbers and white lettering in the back. Grizzlies dump it in after winning the faceoff. Charlie Dodaro dangles back and forth. Now he skates north-south. He'll feed it to his left for Jardine, who gets a neutralize, and he'll move it ahead. It glanced off of Felton's stick. Pike will pitchfork it back towards Felton as puck slides towards Webster. Has already got 2 points now. He gets to Genev. He'll skate towards the right side. Genev tries to center it to Gratton, who gets cut off by Dodaro on a good defensive play. As Jade Miller will drop it, Genev gets the puck. He gets around Jardine. Genev near goal line. Now wrap around. Jardine as Genev didn't have a shooting angle as Jardine crashed along the boards. Genev's got outstanding speed. Sharp angled shot saved by Mayer as the puck slides back towards Pike. Right side. He fires towards the net and misses as the puck spins to the left point. Felton over towards Gratton. He'll drop it off the near wing wall for Genev. It's cleared by Miller, racing after its Ports. And no icing on the play, though, as Ports out-hustled the Grizzlies down ice. Gratton holds up Ports. Pike will spin it to the left side. Anderson back towards Wall. Wall will bouncing off the right wing boards. Borgsland gets to Anderson. He fires lefty shot that goes wide, as well as kicked over his right pad. Malmquist over to McDonald. Back to Malmquist up top to Bergsland. Right side shot. That one's blocked away by Wells as Wall took some of the vision away from Wells. Idaho gets back to Mitch Wall, WAHL. He gets hit by Pike, Pyke. As Pike back along the right goal line. He'll get it towards Ricketts. Ricketts gets pinned by McDonald along the wall. Now back towards Pike. Pike tried to shovel it out and fanned on it. Now Pike gets it back. He'll backhand it, but not out. Anderson keeps it in. Centers it as Gratton and Ricketts collide. taking the puck is Felton. Felton, a good skater, drops it for Ness left side. He'll take a righty shot, saved by Meyer. As the puck goes back over towards Gansky, who hustles after it and gets it neutral ice. Gansky back in his own zone, near circle, dangling back and forth. Now Gansky skates down the middle of the ice, crosses the center red, steps over the offensive blue, but then dropped it for Friesen. Friesen was at neutral ice. Taking the puck is Pearson. Skates the left side, take a righty shot that goes wide as Salem might have gotten a stick in the way. 2-on-2 scrum over in the corner. A third Grizzly joins the play, and it's Friesen. Gillott spins it back behind Utah's net. Gansky gets the loose puck. He'll fire it off the boards, taking its Connor Punnett at the Idaho line. Punnett chased by Gillott. Gillott takes it away. He'll get it towards Lepster. Back to Gillott on the right side. The lefty shot saved by Meyer. Boy, Lepster's looking for a rebound, but it was on his backhand. He couldn't quite get a shot off as he had Punnett near his side. Over towards the left corner. Lepster gets the puck. Feeds up top to Winslow. Take a lefty shot. Saved by Meyer. And Hershuk has some words for Gillott as Gillott had the audacity to stand near the crease as Meyer gloved it about waist high. 17-14 left in the second. Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. And Utah's really done a great job moving the puck around. Passes have been crisp and sharp, and the Grizzlies are doing a good job defensively, just being in the right place at the right time. As they have really played well here in the first 20 minutes and 46 seconds of this game. Luke Manning will take the face-off. He's out there with Ty Voigt and Neil Shea. All three of them are speedsters. Draw one though, by Idaho. As Jeff Baum will tap it off the glass. Puck hit the opposite center ice. Winslow gets it. A left wing it to Shea. Shea gets the Idaho line and rolls it along the board slowly. Charlie Dodaro gets the puck. He's double teamed by Voigt and Shea. Dodaro throws it from one corner to the other. Run down by Manning. Manning gets tripped up, gets on one knee back to his feet. Taking the puck is Pearson. Caleb's his first name. He had one goal in the road trip. Now they dump it deep into the Grizzlies zone. Our Curry runs it down with Winslow. Puck slides towards the far goal line. And the Grizzly pushed down a Steelhead as Wells was covering up. Now it looks like the Steelheads are going to bully the Grizzlies for trying to protect their goaltender as Winslow knocked down a Steelhead who was just a bystander. And he kind of was just left flat-footed, and Winslow knocked him down. Steelheads confront Winslow. Now they cease and desist. As the Steelheads will have an offensive zone draw with 16:40 left in the second. Now, if you're tuned into YouTube and want to see what both goals looked like, go to the Grizzlies social media account of X, the app formerly known as Twitter. Grizzlies goals are on X right now. I don't know if we'll ever make that transition and fully call it X. I think it's always just going to be to Twitter to a lot of people. As Voigt Manning exits, Genev will crouch down low and take the draw. Genev, the Penn State product, first-year pro. Puck won by Idaho as Dodaro throws to the corner, nobody there. As Miller, fourth-year Steelhead, gets up top to Baum. He'll move it towards Dodaro, who gets around one skater. He'll take a righty shot that goes wide. Lepster gets the puck off the boards. Grizzlies with a 3-on-2 cross center ice. As Genev overskates the puck. Nevers gets back checked by Genev. Genev gets blasted. He's a little guy, but he's very tough. Native of Brooklyn, New York. Lepster feeds up top to Felton. Felton backhands it to Genev, now to Lepster. Lepster from Grattan as Genev's nearby. Genev gets pushed to the boards by Holmes. As Holmes takes it, now Genev trying to get it back, overskates as he was twirling around. Now Holmes races to the corner, gets the puck, but not out. As Pike gets around one Steelhead, skates towards the right side, takes a lefty shot, swings and misses. And puck slides towards Meyer, who makes a save. Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw with 15:51 left in the second. But Danny Genev, he's been so much fun to watch, and I'm excited to have Grizzlies fans see him at Maverick Center. Not a very big guy, maybe 5'5", 5'6", but he's lightning. He gets from 0 to 60 in a blur. Handles the puck well, and he seems to find a way to get scoring chances on a consistent basis. Ricketts, Ness, and Berger on the ice. Ness will take the draw. Up top is Salem and Gansky. Face off one by Idaho as Berglund skates around his goaltender, gets to Canady near side. Canady backhands it to neutral ice. Ness will whip it around the boards as Ness collided with Ports near the Grizzlies bench. Meyer gets it towards Canady, who's the Steelheads captain, replacing longtime captain A.J. White. Our Curry gets it towards Ports, who crosses center ice, steps over the offensive line, left point, trying to fire towards the net, and it got redirected by Gansky, sticking and flies out of play. 15:29 left in the second. Steelheads have outshot the Grizzlies 17-14, but the Grizzlies have a slight 3-2 edge in the shot count here in the second period. Saturday's game will be the first of a 4-game homestand for the Grizzlies. Not only tonight, tomorrow with the home opener, but the Jacksonville Icemen will be at Maverick Center October 29th, 30th, and 31st. Face-off all 3 nights will be at 7 o'clock. And note the 7 o'clock on October 29th, the original first schedule had it listed as a 10:30 a.m. game. It's going to be a night game all 3 nights against the Icemen. Draw in the left circle. It's Ness and Ports. Ness, second-year pro, played at North Dakota University. Now draw one. Jardine, left wing. Shot, kick, saved by Wells. As a Steelheads try to center, it's picked off by Berg. Adam Berg gets it knifed away. Gansky lofts to center ice. Dropped by Ricketts over to Berg, right side. He stops on a dime near the corner, reverses his field. Berg gets it across to Salem. Salem, left wing, skates to the circle. Shot, saved by Meyer. Ness was looking for the rebound, but it was poked away by Samuel Jardine, the 6'1 defenseman. Our Curry over the offensive line, tried to center it, bounced off a stick. Ricketts will fire it off the near wing wall. Ness gets blasted by Canadi as our Curry pushes Salem. Grizzlies get it back to Ness. He crosses the center red line. Now over to Ricketts. Ricketts left side, will take a lefty shot. And score! Ricketts bounced it off of Meyer's glove. Ricketts gets his second of the year, and Utah leads 3-0. Boy, just an innocent-looking shot from the left wing. And puck bounced off of Meyer's glove and trickled past the goal line. Boy, Jack Ricketts is going to be a good one. That quick-looking wrist shot, Meyer had no clue where it was, and Griffin Ness started celebrating first. So Ricketts now has a goal in 2 of his last 3 games, as he got his first pro goal last Saturday against Atlanta. So it's 3-0 Utah, and this Idaho crowd is stunned. First period goals by Gratton and Lebster, and a second period goal by Jack Ricketts. Boy, Grizzlies have a deep forward line. Gratton gets the puck. He skates around the Idaho logo at center ice. Gratton wobbles it in, chases after it with good speed. He closes the gap on Anderson. As Hershire will get it back towards McDonald. Now back towards Anderson on the right side. A lot of people just falling down on their own. Ice surface might not be all that good tonight. Wells rolls to Gratton as he gets pinned to the boards by Anderson. Malmquist right side. He'll take a lefty shot that's sticked away by Friesen. Loose puck towards the left corner. Winslow gets there about the same time as Hershuk. Aiden's his first name, number 77. Puck slides towards the left point. Wall gets it. He's now on the high slot. He'll move it to the left circle. Lefty shot and it goes high as Malmquist missed the net. Chasing after it, center ice is Jalot, but Hersher gets there first. Hershuk, who had 1 assist in 3 games. Puck deep in the Grizzlies zone. Winslow will drop it for Bukata wearing number 20. Hustling after it's Luke Manning. He gets there a stride ahead of a Steelhead as he blasts Idaho. Now puck back up top. Punnett keeps it in. As he fakes it towards Baum. He'll take a shot saved by Wells. Grizzlies jump out of the way to avoid Holmes' check. Manning skates onside. Now he skates the right side. Take a lefty shot that goes wide as he fired it over the right shoulder of Meyer. Puck goes back to the middle of the ice. Punnett, rink wide feed as he goes past Pearson onto the crease. Wells covers up as Pearson closed the gap quickly to get on to Wells. 13:15 is the time remaining. Second period. Jack Ricketts with his second in the Utah uniform as the Grizzlies lead 3-0. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Play starting to get spirited here at Idaho Central Arena as Utah leads Idaho 3-0 on goals from Tyler Gratton, Reed Lebster, and Jack Ricketts. More hockey in a moment.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
They're getting a little noisy in Boise as Utah leads 3-0. Scoring goals is nothing new for Jack Ricketts. He played 4 years at Holy Cross University, where he was a teammate with John Gillott. He had 2 outstanding goal-scoring years. He had 16 goals in 41 games for Holy Cross in the 2022-23 season, 19 goals in 39 games in the 2023-24 season, and then last year transferred to Quinnipiac University, where he had 20 goals in 38 games. Pearson skates in, and he fires it over Wells' crossbar. Grizzlies with the puck, and they'll bounce it off the boards for Voigt. Voigt drops it down the middle of the ice, and it's picked up by Caleb Pearson. Over to Hoffman, blue line to blue line pass. He'll lay it for Holmes. Holmes skates to the right goal line. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Holmes gets up top to Punnett, who fakes a one-timer, gets to Jardine, who swings and misses on a one-time attempt from the right point. This is his best Ellie De La Cruz impersonation. De La Cruz struck out over 200 times this season. Arm is raised by the referee as both teams are battling for position, and it's going to be a penalty. I wonder who it's going to be on. Hooking's going to be the call. And looks like it's going to be on a Grizzly, as Christian Felton will go to the box. 2 minutes for Hooking, as he was just battling. There was about 2 Grizzlies and 2 Steelheads over at the left goal line. And referee Hunter Mottinger caught Felton with a hook. So it's the second power play for the Steelheads, first in the second period. Draw taken by Salem, of all people, a defenseman. You don't normally see a defenseman take a face-off, but Salem took it there. Grizzlies get it and clear it out. I don't recall any situation where I've seen a defenseman take a face-off, but there was Salem, and he held his own on that face-off circle. Idaho gets it to Nick Canati. He'll move it to his left as Malmquist over the line, as he got poked away by it looked like his own guy. Jeff Baum back in his own zone. Grizzlies have dominated action so far, even though Idaho leads the shot count 20-16. Wall will sky it in. Salem will get it after a loose puck. Now arm is raised by the referee. I think a penalty is going to be on Idaho. It's touched up by Malmquist, and so that will do it for the power play. Mitch Wall can't believe it. Noah Gansky, well, it looked like he got hit up high. Referee's checking for blood. Referee spots Gansky, looks over both sides of his face. Mitch Wall goes to the box. So that will do it for the power play. High sticking's the call. Looked like it's just a 2-minute penalty, though. Yeah, 2 minutes are going to be the call. So we're going to skate 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 22 seconds. Obviously, every year is a little bit different. The identities of teams are different from year to year, but the Grizzlies last season had a ton of success in 4-on-4 situations where they scored 9 goals and only allowed 2. Griffin Ness will take the draw. He's out there with Winslow, Hanson Bukata, and Jack Ricketts. Draws in the Steelhead zone. Brendan Hoffman will take the face-off for Idaho. Hoffman had 2 goals and 2 assists last week against Tahoe. Idaho wins the draw. Matt Anderson will move it towards Tommy Bergslund. Bergslund gets to center ice. No whip it around the boards. Our Curry over in the left corner collides with Hanson Bukata. Ricketts in the area gets the puck. Ricketts on the back check, continues his battle with Anderson. The puck slides to the middle of the ice for Winslow. Winslow back towards Bukata. He'll bounce it at center ice. Griffin Ness loses this. Tommy Berglund is in the area. Bergslund dumps it in, and we're playing even strength, so icing is on Idaho with 57 seconds left in the 4-on-4 and 11:27. That's the time remaining here in the second period. Make sure to follow the Grizzlies on Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, and TikTok. Obviously, the Grizzlies are superstars on TikTok. I'm on X at Tyson on Sports. I haven't quite ventured into TikTok just yet. I might have to over the next 6 months. Got to show off these good looks. As Idaho gets it, they lose it. Right side, Ness fires a righty shot, and that's sticked away by Bergslund as it flies out of play off the protective netting. 11:18 left in the second. Utah leads 3-0. If you joined us late, Grizzlies got on the board 2:42 in. As the new captain, Tyler Gratton, scored from Neil Shea and Reed Lepster. Lepster and Shea with the assists. Reed Lepster made it a 2-0 game. He scored 18:48 into the first period with Hanson Bukata and Shea getting the assist. Jack Ricketts got on the board 5:13 into the second as he bounced one off of Myers' glove. Ness and Hanson Bukata with the assist. We talked about Hanson Bukata scoring in bunches, and he picked up his second assist of the night on the Ricketts goal. Idaho in control of the puck. They're in their own zone as Jardine tried to flip it cross ice. Sticked away by Genev, gloved and dropped at the Idaho bench by Dodaro. Now Jade Miller enters, skates towards the left circle, toe drag, lefty shot goes wide. As Charlie Dodaro with it in the right side, drops for Pearson across to Jardine. Jardine, number 10, gets to Dodaro at the left goal line. Now Jardine, around the net goes Dodaro. Up top to Miller, right side. His shot sticked away by Salem as it flies out of play. 10 seconds left in the 4-on-4, and then Christian Felton will come out of the box, and the Grizzlies will have a 39-second power play. So with that in mind, looks like the Grizzlies are going with 3 forwards and 1 defenseman on this shift, and then when Felton comes out, we'll see what happens. Felton might skate to the bench, and the Grizzlies will get a 4th forward on the ice. Jay will take the draw against Ports as we're about halfway through the scheduled 60-minute affair. Idaho's outshot Utah 20-16. Dylan Wells has been solid in net. Grizzlies have the puck as Myers taps his stick on the ice. As Felton comes out of the box, Shea will drop it to Pike. Felton will join the play. And the Grizzlies are offsides. They try to get it to Neil Shea at the Idaho line. Punnett collided with them. And so Utah will set up shop and neutral ice. Felton will come to the bench. And Pike's in the area. Hanson Bukata is the guy that's going to see a ton of power play time. It looks like we have Lepster, Gratton, and Shea. And they're down low, and up top is Voigt and Pike. Grizzlies won the draw. Pike gets it to Voigt, and Voigt spins it around the boards. Voigt wearing number 96. He's got a goal in 2 of his 3 games this season. Voigt trying to play soccer and kick it towards Lepster. Idaho takes it away. 2-on-2. Holmes over the offensive line. Dangles, skates towards left circle. Lefty shot. Saved by Wells. And he holds on as Robbie Holmes was surveying as he was skating towards the left circle. After the whistle, Garrett Pike confronts Holmes, who got pretty close towards Wells. Holmes just called his own number in the left circle, and Wells made a nice body save around the logo at the front of his jersey. Grizzlies will switch it up. There's 19 seconds left in Utah's power play, and then Mitch Wall will come out of the box. Grizzlies with a little bit more of a 5-on-5 type of unit. Here kind of preparing for life after the power plays. It draws in the Grizzlies zone. Idaho wins the draw. Holmes fires towards the net and misses. Grizzlies have allowed 1 shorthanded goal so far this season. As Hanson Bukata will feed it in front of his own net. Evan Friesen looks over the clock. Make that Winslow. Back towards Bukata. Wall's coming out of the box right now. Jalop taps it off his stick. And with 2 seconds left in the power play, Grizzlies are called for icing. So Draws can be back in the Grizzlies zone. We've now passed the halfway point. There's 9:53 left in the second period. So it appears both teams will be 0 for 2 on the power play. In terms of shots, has been pretty balanced by the Grizzlies. Reed Lepster's got 3 shots. Shea, Jalot, and Griffin Ness with 2 each, and a bunch of other Grizzlies with 1 shot on goal. Wall's out of the box. We're skating 5-on-5 as Avery Winslow, he's an outstanding skater, gets to center ice, and he will sky it in as puck ricochets off the end glass. Baum will bounce it off the boards. Berg collides with Wall as Jalot nearby. Puck goes behind Idaho's net as Tommy Bergslin gets it. Bergslin played his college hockey at Colgate. He surveys as Steelheads skate from left to right around him. Bergslin gets it towards Malmquist. Liam's his first name. He'll slide it towards the Grizzlies bench for Baum, who crosses center ice. They'll whip it around the wall. Hanson Bukata gets double-teamed over in the corner. Winslow delivers a blow on a Steelhead to even things up. Puck kicks towards Utah's net, hits the side of the net. Friesen comes up with the puck. Friesen taps it towards Berg, who reached it at center ice. He gets knifed away by Baum. Wall battles with Berg. Puck slides towards Friesen, who gets it. Friesen crosses center ice, bounces one to his right for Berg. Berg collects it, skates towards the right point. He'll tap it off the skate of a Steelhead. Bergslin takes it away from Berg. As puck bounces off of Berg, run down by Salem. Salem skates around Utah's net towards the far side. All armors raised by the referee as Shea was skating with the Steelhead over at the near goal line. Bergslin hit the ice, and Shea can't believe it, but he's going to get a 2-minute penalty. Idaho's going to be on the power play when we come back. 8:47 left in the second period. Utah leads 3-0 on goals from Tyler Gratton, Reed Webster, and Jack Ricketts. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from Les.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Neil Shea gets 2 minutes for hooking. Time of penalty, 11:13 into the second period. As Idaho's on the power play for the third time tonight. Luke Salem, a defenseman's going to take a face-off. A rare sighting to see a defenseman take a face-off, but Salem's going to take it here on the penalty kill. Draw one by Idaho, but it goes between Anderson and Bergslund up top. Webster chasing after a loose puck. He gets it. Webster skates it. Shot, a score! What an effort by Reed Webster! He gets his second of the night, and it's now a 4-0 hockey game. Puck went between the Idaho defensemen. Webster won the foot race between both of them. Got Meyer off balance and just slid it past the goal line. Have a night, Reed Webster. It's the Grizzlies' first shorthanded goal of the season. And so that will make it a 4-0 hockey game. But we know who the number one star is going to be, as Meyer just kind of sprawled towards his left, but Webster found a shooting angle, and then he crashed along the boards. What a night for the Grizzlies, as the Idaho fans are stunned. Steelheads are still on the power play for 1:50. As Kanadi gets the puck, chasing after is Ness. Ness dumps it in. Baum chases after it behind Idaho's net. As the Grizzlies build a three-man wall at neutral ice. Baum crosses center ice. He'll push it to his left for Holmes. Holmes bounces one across to Kanadi. Kanadi gets the Utah line, and he'll sprint it back in. As Kanadi collides with Salem. Holmes over to the left wing. Steelheads drop it back for Holmes. Holmes skates around Utah's net to the near side. Holmes feeds up top to Baum. Jet Baum gets it across. Mitch Wall dances around. He surveys as he skates towards the left corner. Wall feeds up top to Baum. Baum directs it to Malmquist. Malmquist, he's in the high slot, takes a lefty shot, and it's blocked about 5 feet in front of Wells. Ricketts gets the puck. He skates around Wells as he's got Kanadi on him like a cheap suit. And Ricketts will spin the puck all the way deep into the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies with 2 goals and 1 assist from Reed Webster. Webster and Gratton enter the ice. Idaho, rink-wide feed, connects angle right. Pearson dangles back and forth. Grizzlies back defensively. Boy, players are having a tough time keeping their balance. Ice conditions aren't good. Bergslund gets to Anderson. Anderson will feed it to Pearson. Pearson on the right side, dangling back and forth. They'll get to the right goal line for Hoffman. Back to Pearson. Shot hits the post near side. Hoffman gets the puck. He gets up top to Anderson. Grizzlies lead 4-0. As Hoffman, the shot is blocked by Pike. Near goal line, Pearson backhands it to Wells, who makes a save. Now Pearson, he falls down. Oh, it's going to be a penalty on Pike. And Pike, in frustration, will saucer the puck all the way down cross ice. So Idaho will have a 5-on-3 for 17 seconds, and then a 5-on-4 power play after that. As tripping's probably going to be the call. Actually, it's going to be a hook, says referee Hunter Mottinger. So Pike goes to the box. He joins Neil Shea there. So a 5-on-3 power play for Idaho for 17 seconds, and then Shea will come out of the box, and it'll be a 5-on-4. The Webster shorthanded goal is unassisted. He has 2 goals and 1 assist tonight. Neil Shea with 2 assists. Fans making some noise here in Boise. Draw one by Idaho. Curry gets to Anderson down the middle of the ice. Dangles back and forth. They'll get to Wall. 10 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Wall and Anderson switch places. Now Wall down the middle of the ice. Drops it from Bergslund. Bergslund dangles back and forth. Now pivot to his right. He'll drop it for Curry. Curry takes a lefty shot and goes over the crossbar. Jays out of the box right now. It's now 5-on-4. Idaho still on the power play for a minute 40. Arcuri will fire it off Agansky near his face, but luckily it didn't get him. Maybe he caught the side of the helmet. Anderson to Bergslund. Over to Arcuri in the right circle. Siren pass looking for Hoffman. It goes wide. Anderson extends his stick to keep it in. Wall will get it towards Hoffman. Cross ice to Arcuri off his stick. Arcuri regathers it. He'll skate towards the right point. Stop, reverses field, back to the right circle. Siren pass gets kicked off the Wells pad, and Gansky will clear it out. Grizzlies make a full line change. Manning and Felton enter, as well as Winslow and Gillott. It's been all Grizzlies so far tonight. 6:10 on the moving clock. Bergslund crosses center ice, dangles back and forth, gets the ball over the Utah line. Wall back towards Bergslund, who's been active tonight. He feeds it to Malmquist left point. Malmquist will drop it for Bergslund, who's down in the high slot. Tommy Bergslund fires the righty shot, saved by Wells. Bobbles it for a second, regathers it, and after the whistle, Grizzlies are going after Brendan Hoffman. Boy, Luke Manning holding his ground as Hoffman is trying to maybe get a shot on Wells. Manning now loses his helmet. So Grizzlies do a pretty good job trying to protect Dylan Wells after he bobbled it. And now it looks like Hoffman snapped. He took a Grizzly stick and took his skate over it, maybe snapping the stick as Hoffman loses his cool. Manning loses his cool on Hoffman as the linesman separates them. Doesn't look like there's any penalties either side. Grizzlies showing quite a bit of spirit and spunk here tonight. And how about Luke Manning doing a good job protecting his goaltender, especially with a guy like Brendan Hoffman who goes 6'3" and 223 pounds. Oh, they're going to give Manning a penalty. The door's open at the Grizzlies box. Oh, they're going to give Manning a penalty. And he's the only guy that's going to get a penalty, apparently. As Hoffman is doing as much pushing and shoving on Manning, it looked like Hoffman was pushing Winslow. And so this would give Idaho a 5-on-3 for 50 seconds. But at some point, the linesman's talking with Idaho. I got to think Hoffman's going to get a penalty as well. There was just some pushing and shoving after the whistle. But there's 2 Grizzlies in the box, and nobody's in there for Idaho. But there's 4 Grizzlies on the ice, right, waiting for the next face-off in the Grizzly zone. So I got to think a Steelhead's going to go to the box as well. Now the Steelheads are going to skate towards their bench, and the Grizzlies will do so as well. 5:53 is left in the second period. And so there's 4 Grizzlies on the ice, yet nobody is in the box for Idaho. Manning and Pike are both in the box for Utah. Unless they gave Hoffman a misconduct of some sort, but nobody's in the box for Idaho. Grizzlies win the draw. We're skating 5-on-4. Ricketts crosses center ice. Drops for Berg, back to Ricketts, backhand shot, saved by Meyer, and he holds on. But what a play by the Grizzlies to even get a shot off. Now Canadi's going after Ness. Boy, you know, with the frustration building in, Idaho's going to try to, and now Canadi's throwing punches at Ness. He hits Ness in the back of the head. Now he drags Ness to the ice. And for the first time tonight, Steelheads fans have something to cheer about, and that's exactly the agenda that Nick Canadi had in mind. He'll skate towards the penalty box. Canadi, who averages about 9 or 10 fights a year. Ness is going to go to the box for the Grizzlies. And it looks like a convention is starting in the Grizzlies penalty box. Pretty soon they're going to have to call roll. As Ricketts with a backhand shot, and then Ness, all Ness did was stand in the crease, and Canadi tried to bully him. Ness got around a linesman and got around everybody. He just started throwing rights at Ness. That's the type of guy Nick Canadi is, and Steelhead fans love it, and that's why he's wearing the C. And I'm not really sure what Ness did, except for he just tried to somehow hold his ground as Canadi was attacking him. And yet Ness goes to the box as well. So there's 41 seconds left in a 5-on-4 power play. And Idaho's doing what they can to try to get momentum back in this game. And I think it's going to be a physical tone that they're going to try to set to try to climb back in it. Grizzlies are one of the smaller teams in the league, but it's great to see the Grizzlies kind of respond. If Idaho's going to get physical, Grizzlies are going to get physical as well. Now Ricketts is skating towards the penalty box as well. Now Ricketts talking with Tyler Gratton. Gratton, the Grizzlies captain. Canadi, the Steelheads captain's in the box. And yeah, we're going to have a convention in the Grizzlies penalty box. There's 4 Grizzlies players in the box right now. There's only one Steelhead in the box. Draw's going to be in the Steelhead zone still. And it looks like it's, we'll sort it out a little bit. Utah leads 4-0 as Reed Lepster with a shorthanded goal. It was unassisted. 11:20 into the second period. Utah led 2-0 after one and 4-0 right now. And if you joined us late, Tyler Gratton, the new Grizzlies captain, scored 2:42 into the first with Neil Shea, and Reed Lepster gained the assist. And then Lepster scored from the left circle, glove side past Meyer. And that was 18:48 into the first. Hanson Bucata and Shea with the assist. 5:13 into the second period. Jack Ricketts made it a 3-0 game. He got a second of the year from Ness and Hanson Bucata. Bucata's got 2 assists, and the Lepster unassisted, shorthanded, 11:20 into the second. Well, we're just lingering like it's after sacrament meeting. Gratton and Baum talk things over. 5:45 left in the second period. There's 4 Grizzlies in the box. There's only one Steelhead. And at some point they'll play hockey, but we're just having quite the congregation. They show Nick Canati on the video board, and he gets a good hand. Now Tyler Gratton's talking with John Mechanic about what the conversation was. Well, you got to hand it to John Mechanic. He had his team ready to play tonight. Mechanic instructing Gratton and Lepster. So it looks like we're skating 5-on-4. Yet there's 4 Grizzlies hanging out in the penalty box, and there's one Steelhead. I think Hoffman had to have gotten a misconduct of some kind. Maybe there's another Steelhead that had to as well. As they're probably in the locker room and not the box. 41 seconds left in the 5-on-4 Idaho power play. They win the draw. Utah leads 4-0. 5.5 minutes left in the second period as Pearson dangles back and forth, crosses center ice, gets around. Gratton drops for Miller. Salem's in the area, so is Gratton, and Gratton skies it just under the video board, and it's going to stay in play as the puck up ops deep in the Steelhead zone. Blomquist races after Bergslund. Tommy Bergslund out to center ice. He'll drop it for Anderson across to Pearson. Caleb Pearson, Pearson, Steelheads with a misconnected pass. They'll reset at center ice. Pearson shoulder fakes, gets around Lepster left wing, tries to split a double team. He gets taken off the puck by Gansky, and the Grizzlies will helicopter out of play. That's going to be delay of game. It's going to be a 5-on-3 power play for 4 seconds as Luke Salem gave a fan a souvenir over in section, section 110 maybe? So now there's 5 Grizzlies in the penalty box. Pike will come out in 4 seconds. So we're skating 5-on-3, and then after that, Idaho continues with another power play. 5:07 left in the second. I hope a Steelhead photographer takes a picture of this thing. There's 5 Grizzlies in the box right now. They really do have to call roll. They gotta, like they do in second grade in school. Matt here, Garrett here, Neil here, Luke here, other Luke here. Off the draw, Pike comes out of the box. Utah wins a 50-50 puck. They're trying to get the Pike taken away by Malmquist. Malmquist toe drag, gets the far goal line. Shot saved by Wells, and Utah protects Dylan Wells. Holmes tries to get physical with Winslow. Friesen takes a seat. 1:46 left in the power play, and the Grizzlies have done an outstanding job at protecting Dylan Wells in front of the crease. A couple times where Wells has kind of bobbled the shot, one of those body saves. And the Grizzlies have done a great job making sure that Idaho doesn't come away with a second chance. John Gillott will replace Noah Gansky. Looks like Felton's going to come on the ice as well, as Felton's going to take the place of Avery Winslow. How about this for an interesting strategy? I've never seen this before, at least at this level. Salem was taking a couple faceoffs on the penalty kill. Now Winslow's going to take the draw. He's a defenseman. How about this? Interesting strategy. Mechanics going with defensemen taking the defensive zone faceoffs on penalty kills. Kind of an interesting thing. I don't think I've ever seen it before. Idaho with the puck as Baum gets it. I'm not sure how successful it's been, as I'm not sure a Grizzly defenseman's won a face-off yet. Out to the right side, Holmes gets it across the wall. Left side wall, shots blocked, and Gillott clears it out. Puck skips towards Meyer. He cuts it off in front of his net. If you're thinking about pulling Meyer, well, forget about it. The backup goaltender is Doug Melvin, who's an emergency backup, and I think Jay Stevens of Utah Puck Report is going to be a backup goaltender for the Steelheads tomorrow at Maverick Center, the Grizzlies home opener. Puck slides in front of the crease, but there's no Steelhead there. Taking the puck's Neil Shea. He's lightning on skates. 3-on-2. Shea over the offense line, gets to the left side, take a shot, and it's sticked away by Meyer, and it flies out of play off the protective netting. Boy, Neil Shea had a pretty good look from the left side, trying to go stick side on Nolan Meyer, and Meyer denied Neil Shea. He's already got 2 assists tonight. So 4:05 left in the second period. There's 4 Grizzlies in the penalty box now. There was 5 for about 4 seconds. They all look like they're having a good time, though. I think one guy has to, 3 guys are on the bench there, and I think one guy has to find a makeshift bench spot to sit. 58 seconds left in the Idaho 5-on-4 power play. And oddly enough, no fighting majors involved. And we got 4 guys in the box. Bergslund dangles back and forth, crosses center ice. No flipping into the left corner. Bergslund splits 2 Grizzlies. Takes control of the puck. He'll throw it from one corner to the other. Puck now back up top to Miller. Over to Anderson. Pearson slot. Toe drag. Shot. It goes wide. As went over Dylan Wells' head. Stick side. Grizzlies get a loose puck. Shea. I try to move it ahead looking for Adam Berg. It goes over a stick. Remember, Berg, he scored a big shorthanded goal in the regular season finale last year against Rapid City. Idaho crosses center ice, and Anderson dumps it in. 20 seconds left in the penalty kill. Hanson Bukata helicopters it, but it stays in with Bergslund on the right point. Bergslund gets to Miller, trying to locate the puck. He can't find it. Winslow gets pushed to the boards by Miller as he now locates the puck. As the Grizzlies take it away. A great penalty kill by the Grizzlies. Gratton dumps it in. How many minutes worth of a penalty kill do the Grizzlies have? And they do a great job denying Idaho on all counts. Luke Salem's out of the box. We're skating 5-on-5. Our Curry one-hands it in. Gansky runs after it. Less than 3 minutes left in the second period. It's all Utah. They lead 4-0. Bukata out to center ice. Now backhanded in. Bukata will race to the Grizzlies bench. He'll be replaced by Luke Salem. John Gillot joins the play as well. Ports will bounce it off Mayer's backside. Make that Nevers backside. Gillot over the offensive line looking for his first pro goal. Bounces one towards Lebster on hat trick watch. As Nevers takes control of the puck. Mason Nevers, no relation to NFL legend Ernie Nevers of over about a century ago. Nevers had a 6 or 7 touchdown game back in the 1930s. Jardine with the puck in the near side. Stops on a dime. He's being shadowed by Genev. As Jardine now dances around Genev, shadowing him like a hawk. Jardine will bounce backhand it towards the Grizzlies bench. Looked like a ricochet off Ports and off a Grizzly on the bench. 2:12 left in the second period. And now the Grizzlies penalty box is empty. As Grizzlies had 5 guys in the box for about 4 seconds. Timeout. Utah leads 4-0. Reed Lebster has 2 goals and 1 assist. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
.212 left in the second period. Utah leads 4-0. Reed Lebster has 2 goals and 1 assist. Neil Shea has 2 assists. Aiden Hanson-Bukata in his Grizzlies debut also has 2 assists. And the penalty kill has been unbelievable. Idaho wins the draw. We're skating 5-on-5. As Punnett slides it ahead. As the puck goes past Holmes, he redirected it off his stick, so no icing or delay or offside or anything of that kind as we play on. Felton dances around. He's a great skater. He drops Holmes on a dime. Now Felton reverses his field, skates down the middle of the ice. Felton will backhand it towards Voigt. Voigt steps over the offensive line. Manning did a good job holding his ground. Voigt with a righty shot. Blocker saved by Meyer. Right, left side. Pike with a shot. Manning gets it off him, and he fires it wide. Felton over the right point. Gets pushed out to neutralize. Felton will reset. Felton gets hacked by Pershuk. Felton slows down the play, gets towards Pike. Grizzlies doing a good job controlling the pace and tempo of this game. Rink wide feed connects to Shea. Shangle dangles back and forth. Gets towards Voigt. Trying to get it back to Shea, who got his stick raised. as Idaho comes back the other way. Ball across the Punnett off this stick. Punnett regathers it. This crowd is about as quiet as can be, considering that just about every seat has been occupied by Steelheads fans, even though there are a few Grizzlies fans here in attendance, making the 5-hour drive. Salem with the puck, dangling back and forth. He'll bounce it towards the boards near the Grizzlies bench. Berg gets poked away by Punnett. Idaho comes back the other way. Punnett kind of casually skates down the middle of the ice, blue line to blue line feed off a Miller stick. It flies into the Grizzlies zone. Wells behind his net. Will tap it off the glass, and then it goes out of play. And because it tapped off the glass before rolling into row one, no delay of game penalty. As now Nick Canati comes out of the box, and he gets a hand for attacking Griffin Ness after the whistle, as Ness was just casually standing in the crease. That's probably a mean way of saying it. Canati's a pretty good player, but he's kind of high-spirited, even though there really wasn't much Ness did. Both teams are really aggressive in protecting their goaltender here in the second period. Canati was no different. McDonald off the draw slot, and his lefty shot sticked away by Hanson Bukata. As Bergslund gets the puck on the right side, he gets pushed by Berg, and now the puck behind Utah's net. Pike runs it down, trying to backhand it to Ricketts, didn't get very far. Now a battle along the far wing boards. Ricketts, the 6'1" forward, holds his ground against two Steelheads. Ricketts gets a basketball screen from Pike and is able to break free. Hanson Buchanan keeps his head up. He'll slice one to center ice as Ness gets blown up by Matt Anderson. Meyer collides with Ricketts, and now it looks like Jade Miller is going to go attack Ricketts. Now a second Steelhead's going to attack Ricketts. Pike going after a Steelhead who was going after Ricketts, as looked like Ricketts collided with Meyer. They were both going after a loose puck in front of the crease. And now the linesmen step in, and cooler heads might prevail. Ricketts going to walk towards the locker room. Now Nick Canati's yelling at the Grizzlies bench. As it did, it looked like Meyer and Ricketts were just going after a loose puck. They collided. Jade Miller was going after Ricketts. Then the whistle blew. I think everybody saw what was happening, and looked like Meyer had covered up. And then right before, looked like a Steelhead was going to go get Ricketts. Pike cut him off. He cut off Anderson and Miller. A lot of frustration on the side of the team wearing silver, black, and white tonight. This has been all Grizzlies through two periods. In fact, the Nick Canati, when he got into it with Griffin Ness, that's the only time this crowd's really applauded and had a good time this evening. Grizzlies have done a great job controlling the pace of this game. Referee Hunter Mottinger might have his work cut out for him in the third period. In fact, he probably has his work cut out for him right now, as referee's talking with both captains, Tyler Gratton and Nick Canati. Canati can't believe it. Looks like Ricketts is going to go to the penalty box. Ricketts gets a 2-minute penalty. 11.7 seconds are left in the second period. During the second intermission, we will recap all the scoring. Now John Buchanan wants the Grizzlies to come over to the bench, as Buchanan trying to get attention of Gansky and Salem. Lepster as well. The Lepster's going to stay on the ice. Buchanan has some instructions for Gansky. I'm interested in seeing who's going to take the faceoff. Is it going to be a defenseman? I don't know that I've ever seen this before. On a defensive zone draw and a penalty kill, they're having defensemen take the draw. This time it's going to be a forward, though. But they had a couple of occasions, probably 2 or 3 occasions, where they had a defenseman take a defensive zone draw on a penalty kill. This time it's going to be Gratton, though. I mean, none of the Grizzly defensemen won the faceoff, although one of them led to the Lepster goal as he won a foot race against two Steelheads. Puck slides towards Wells off the draw, and the Grizzlies will helicopter it all the way towards Meyer. 4 seconds left, and that will do it for 40 glorious minutes of hockey, as John Buchanan's crew has just dominated action. They scored 2 goals in the first, scored 2 in the second, had some 5-on-3 penalty kills that they've killed off. Idaho's going to be on the power play for the first minute 49 of the third period. The Grizzlies have played a very sound and disciplined defensive game. And this has been a clinic that the Grizzlies have put on here in the first 40 minutes of play. Utah 4, Idaho nothing. As Jade Miller having some words with Genev. Those guys were on training camp with Idaho together, so it looked like friendly words. Zamboni comes on the ice. Both teams head to the locker room, and the Grizzlies have a 4-0 lead here at Idaho Central Arena. We'll come back and recap the first 2 periods and also go over some scores from around the world of sports. Reed Lepster has been unbelievable tonight. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist as Utah leads Idaho 4-0. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Grizzlies really had their way tonight. They lead 4-0 after 40 minutes of play. Idaho will be on the power play for the first minute, 49. Grizzlies at one point had a 4-second stretch where they had 5 people in the penalty box, and not a single one of them got a fighting major. What a crazy game this has been. The penalty minutes are quite a bit. They're adding up. Most of them came in the second period. Idaho is currently listed as 0 for 6 on the power play. They're in the middle of their 6th power play. The Grizzlies' penalty kill has been part of the story, but really Reed Lebster has been a big part of the story as well, as he has 2 goals and 1 assist. He's a +3. Jack Ricketts with 1 goal. He has 1 shot on goal. He's also a +3. And Tyler Gratton, in his first game wearing the Grizzlies' captaincy, has a goal. And Gratton got the party started, 2:42 into the first period. Neil Shea had the puck in the left circle. Gratton was over at the right goal line just hanging out. He was all alone. Shea got it to Gratton, and Gratton found the back of the net to give Utah a 1-0 lead. Time of goal 2:42 in. Shea and Lebster picked up the assists. It stayed a 1-0 game for quite a bit, just over 16 minutes worth of action, if my Kearns high math is correct. 18:48 into the first. Reed Lebster got his first of the year with Hanson Bukata and Shea getting the assists. Lebster had the puck on the left side, dangled for a bit, kind of moved his, kind of looked like he was about to lose control of the puck, got it back, got Holmes off balance, and he was all alone for the shot, and he fired it glove side past Nolan Meyer, and that made it 2-0. Later on in the second period, looked like Idaho had gotten on the board, but the whistle blew, as well as it bobbled the puck. By the time it went past his control, it went out of his control, and Idaho knifed it in the back of the net. The whistle blew, kept it a 2-0 game, and that's where it sits after 20 minutes of play. Idaho outshot Utah 15-11 in the first period. In the second frame, Idaho outshot Utah 11-8. But the Grizzlies extended the lead to 3-0 as Jack Ricketts got his second of the year. He just fired an innocent-looking wrist shot from the left wing, and it just bounced off of Meyer's glove and trickled past the goal line. He didn't know, it looked like he had no clue where the puck was. And before you knew it, Griffin Ness started celebrating, and Utah had a 3-0 lead. I got to imagine that sort of shot gets on goaltenders in a hurry. It looked like it kind of had quite a bit of spin on it. Jack Ricketts, as we mentioned in the second period, had 3 outstanding goal-scoring years at the college level, 2 at Holy Cross, then 1 at Quinnipiac University, where he had 20 goals in 38 games. And he now has a goal in 2 of his last 3 games, of this being the 3rd game. And I got to imagine he's going to score a ton of goals as a pro. Ness and Hanson Bukata with the assists. Remember, Aiden Hanson Bukata, 3 straight outstanding assist seasons at the college level. And he has 2 assists tonight in his Grizzlies debut. So Utah led 3-0 at that point when Ricketts scored 5:13 into the second. And then Grizzlies picked up a couple penalties. Neil Shea got a hooking minor, 11:13 in. Garrett Pike got a hooking minor, 12:56 in. But it was after Shea got the hooking minor, 11:13 into the second period. That gave Idaho a power play. Luke Salem took the draw on the penalty kill. Puck went between the 2 Idaho defensemen. Reed Lebster just skated between them, got past the Idaho defenseman, got the puck in the Steelhead zone in the slot, moved to his right. Myers left the goaltender, got Meyer off balance, and then had enough of a shooting angle to slide it past the goal line. An amazing individual effort by Reed Lebster, who got that goal with heart and desire, and he picked up his second goal of the night. It was unassisted, and the time of that goal was 11:20 into the second period. That was just 7 seconds into Idaho's power play. Then we saw some interesting stuff. Pike got a hooking minor, 12:46 in. Luke Manning and Brendan Hoffman each got 10-minute roughing minors, but Hoffman got a 10-minute misconduct. So we went to the locker room and not the penalty box. Players started adding up in the Grizzlies box. There were 3 of them by the time Manning got there. Pike was in there. Then Manning was the second Grizzly. And then Griffin Ness got a roughing minor, 14-15 in. Ricketts got a roughing minor. Kanadi got a double minor for roughing. And so with Ricketts and Ness going into the box, they joined Pike and Manning. There are 4 Grizzlies in the penalty box. And then Luke Salem gave a fan a souvenir from his own zone, 14:53, and he went to the box. And for 4 seconds worth of game action, there were 5 Utah Grizzly players in the penalty box, and there wasn't a single fighting major to be had. Meanwhile, Nick Kanadi was the only stillhead in the box, as and yet we're only skating 5-on-4 and 5-on-3 for about 4 seconds, and then I think Pike came out of the box, and that made it 4 Grizzlies in the box. We'll have a quiz on it after the game, but nevertheless, it was a crazy sequence there where Grizzly players just kind of kept adding up in the penalty box, and pretty soon, you're just starting to call and roll like it was the start of a third grade class. Luke here, other Luke here, Garrett here, Griffin here. And then Jack Ricketts got a goalie interference minor, 19:49 in. And so that's the power play that Idaho's on right now, as they'll be on the power play for the next minute 49. But how about the Grizzlies penalty kill? We talked about it just about all week last week, of that being something the Grizzlies had to improve on if they wanted to have a successful season. And so far, the penalty kill has been a huge plus. 5 for 5 so far, and obviously the shorthanded goal by Reed Lebster. And, you think about all that stuff, and we haven't even mentioned the fact that Dylan Wells has played an outstanding game. He was 9-0 over a 2-season stretch with the Steelheads, and Dylan Wells has saved all 26 he has seen so far. Been a very balanced attack. Reed Lebster doesn't have any penalty minutes yet. If he does get in a fight, and things could get physical here in the third period, things have been chippy over the last 8 minutes worth of game time. Who knows, maybe you can get a fight and get the Gordie Howe hat trick. But you really think about it, the Stars have been Lebster, 2 goals, 1 assist, a +3. Ricketts is a +3 with 1 goal. Neil Shea's got 2 assists. Aiden Hansen-Buchanan's got 2 assists. Avery Winslow is a +2 as well. That's been the fun things. The Grizzlies have gotten it done not only statistically, but they've won the 50-50 pucks. Defensively, they've been on point. They've been assignment sound. There haven't been many Steelheads getting those grade A scoring chances. Idaho does outshoot Utah 26-19, but there's not been that many breakaways. You got to hand it once again, and really we talked a couple of the games on the road trip about the Grizzlies' defensive units, and you got to hand it to all 6 defensemen, and the forwards are really chipped in and played a strong two-way game as well. Tyler Gratton's really stepped up, and he's been outstanding both ways. And Jack Ricketts won quite a few battles along the boards. Everything's come together for the Grizzlies here tonight, and they played some beautiful hockey. They lead 4-0, and it's been a blue-collar attack. And you just got to hand it to John Buchanan's crew. He had his team ready to play this evening. Now, don't forget, the Grizzlies will be at Maverick Center tomorrow night, and that's going to be a big one. 6:50 pregame show. Actually, the pregame show is going to start at 6:45. We'll have some fun activities before the game. And before the game, we're also going to honor the great late Kevin Bruder as well. And the Grizzlies will take on the Steelheads. It's the first of a 4-game homestand. The Jacksonville Icemen come into town next week for a big 3-game and 3-day set. It's going to be October 29th, 30th, and 31st. Face-off all 3 nights will be at 7:10. When we come back, we'll go over some other scores in the league. There are some Grizzlies fans here in attendance. It's just about a sellout crowd here at Idaho Central Arena as Utah leads 4-0. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Other scores across the league. Reading defeated Greensboro 4-1. Iowa gets a 5-1 victory over Kalamazoo. The defending champion 12 Riviera Lions defeat Adirondack 3-1. Jacksonville goes to 3-0 on the season. They defeat Greenville 4-2. Remember, Jacksonville is going to be at Maverick Center next week. There's one former Grizzly on the Jacksonville roster, and that's 2019-2020 defenseman Peter Tischke. Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals defeat Worcester 4-1. How about the Atlanta Gladiators? They were the Grizzlies' opponent last week, but the Gladiators have won 4 straight. Last night, they got a 5-3 victory against Orlando. And tonight, on the road against the perennial powerhouse Florida Everblades, Jared Youngman and Guy Krenza's Atlanta Gladiators defeat Florida 2-0. Chad Nychuk and Ryan Nolan each picked up a goal, and the shutout was TJ Semptenfelter, who saved all 25. And he gets his first professional shutout. And the Gladiators were the Grizzlies' opponent last weekend. They come away with a 2-0 victory on the road against the Florida Everblades. Atlanta starts 4-0 on the season. Cincinnati defeats Fort Wayne 3-1. Bloomington gets a 4-2 victory over Toledo. Former Grizzly Chad Hillebrand had one of the goals for Toledo. The game that just went final, Tahoe defeats Tulsa 4-1. Nobody scored in the third period there. Tahoe had 3 goals in the first, 1 in the second. Kansas City on the road gets a 4-2 victory over Allen, as a lot of new faces for Kansas City. Wilson seems to be the only returning Maverick that scored a goal. Thomas Caron, the former Steelhead, had one of the goals for the Allen Americans. 15 minutes left in the third period. Wichita's clinging to a 1-0 lead as Jay Dickman has the game's lone goal. He scored 6:09 into the first period. Utah leads 4-0 here tonight as Reed Lepster has 2 goals and 1 assist. Aiden Hansen-Bucata and Neil Shea each have 2 assists. And the Grizzlies also have goals from Tyler Gratton, the new captain, and Jack Ricketts, who's a +3 for the Grizzlies on the evening. And Dylan Wells has saved all 26. We'll come back and go over some NHL scores in 30 seconds. Utah leads 4-0. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
4 NHL games tonight. Sabres defeat the Maple Leafs 5-3. It looks like Buffalo's starting to play good hockey over the last week. Devils defeat the Sharks 3-1. There wasn't a single 5-on-5 goal as Dougie Hamilton had 2 power play goals. Connor Brown had an empty netter. The Sharks' lone goal was scored by William Eklund, who had a power play goal 2:25 into the first period. Capitals got a goal from 5 different players, including the great Alex Ovechkin, as Washington defeats Columbus 5-1, and the Jets get a 5-3 victory over the Calgary Flames. An update on Game 1 of the World Series in 30 seconds. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
A game of local interest here in Boise. One of 5 college football games. 8:30 left in the second quarter. Boise State and Nevada are tied at 3. That's a road game for Boise State. And so with that, if it's not a sellout tonight, you can understand why, as people are at home watching the Boise State Broncos. Cal and Virginia Tech are in overtime tied at 27. Dartmouth defeated Columbia 49-3. Montana and Sacramento State are tied at 7. And North Texas defeats Charlotte 54-20. Game 1 of the World Series, bottom of the 8th inning. Blue Jays lead the Dodgers 11-4 as Toronto scored 9 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Addison Barger hit a grand slam. Alejandro Kirk also homered, and that was a 2-run shot. And Dalton Varsho hit a 2-run homer for the Blue Jays as well. So game 1 of the World Series at Rogers Center in Toronto, and the Blue Jays lead the Dodgers 11-4. Blue Jays in the World Series for the first time since 1993. That was the second of a back-to-back World Series run, as the Blue Jays defeated the Braves in 6 games in 1992. And in 93, it was the Joe Carter home run off Mitch Williams. The Blue Jays defeated the Phillies 4-2. One NBA game of note, at halftime, the Kings lead the Jazz 49-46. How about those Jazz on Wednesday night in the regular season opener with a blowout win over the LA Clippers? And leading the way for the Jazz is Lauri Markkanen, who has 12 points and 2 rebounds. Keontae George and Milichuk have 7 points each. Bryce Sensabaugh, 7 points off the bench for the Jazz. We'll come back in 1 minute and have third period action. Idaho's on the power play for the first minute, 49 of the third. We're back in 1 minute on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Now we're about set for the third period as Utah leads 4-0. Idaho's outshot Utah 26-19, but it's been a clinic by John Buchanan's crew on the defensive end of the ice. And Reed Lepster's on hat trick watch. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist. If you're wearing a hat, make sure it's an old one, as you're going to have to throw it wherever you are if Lepster finds the back of the net in the third period. He's one of 4 skaters on this penalty kill, as Lepster's out there with Tyler Gratton. The 2 defensemen are Luke Salem and Noah Gansky. Idaho's going to start on their power play with Caleb Pearson. He's been all over the place for Idaho tonight. Nick Ports is also out there. Jade Miller, Mason Nevers, and the lone defenseman Samuel Jardine. Steelheads without Ty Pelton-Bice, who's serving the first of a 9-game suspension for a nasty cross-check to the neck of a Tahoe player. Dylan Wells has been outstanding in net as he has saved all 26. Grizzlies are skating from left to right as we see it from high atop section 203. Gratton will take the draw against Jade Miller. Miller has some words for Gratton before the face-off. And the draw won by Idaho. Jardine back at his line. Gets to Nevers. Nevers to Gratton, who swung and missed. Miller over the line and gets a shoulder check from Gratton. Gratton in the right corner gets double-teamed by Nevers and Miller. Puck slides towards the far circle. And getting it's Reed Lepster, and he'll sail it all the way down ice. Nolan Meyer plays behind his net. As Jardine will feed it to his left, center ice. As Ports gets blasted by Gratton. Jardine gets it up top. Dodaro fires a righty shot, and it goes wide. Ports has a glance off his shoulder as he got it off the glass. He feeds up top to Dodaro. Across to Jardine, over to Dodaro. High slot, righty shot, saved by Wells. He got it about shoulder high and holds on. Might have gotten Wells' helmet. Boy, Wells looks like he's shaking a little bit, favoring his left shoulder as he still has the puck. Hopefully he's all right, as Wells has now saved each of the first 27 he has seen tonight. Draw's going to be over in the left circle. Griffin Ness will take it against Idaho's Jade Miller. Ness has been active here tonight. Spent some time in the penalty box in the second period. He's also got 1 assist. Idaho wins the draw. Dodaro gets the Ports over his stick as they ended up about waist high. Pike gets towards Ness. Ness tries to locate it at his knees. Miller took it away from him. He gets to Jardine. Jardine slides towards his right. Now he gets to Dodaro on the right point. Dodaro back to Jardine. Now back to Dodaro on the right wing. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Wells. Rebound goes back towards right side to Dodaro. Shot kick saved by Wells. And Pike clears it out. Boy, when there have been second chances there for Idaho, Grizzlies doing a good job in front of the crease to clear it out. Jardine out to neutralize. He'll get it to Malmquist, who crosses the center red line. He'll slide it to his right for Kanadi. Kanadi can't split the double team, and Pike will bounce it back into the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies will get 4 fresh tires on their penalty kill as Salem and Gansky enter, along with Luke Manning and Neil Shea. Punt it to center ice. Will drop it for Kanadi. Kanadi dangles back and forth. He'll move it to his right for Hershuk. Puck back around. Gansky will fire it over, punt it, and all the way down deep into the Steelhead zone. 4 seconds left in the penalty kill. And how about this Grizzlies PK unit? They're now 6 for 6. Ricketts out of the box as Hershuk over the offensive line moves to his right. Hershuk dumps it off the Grizzlies backboard, chasing after it. He'll drop it for Holmes, who skates back towards the right point. He loses control of the puck. Ricketts will bounce one from one blue line to the other as the puck wobbles on its side like a spinning top. Kanadi will drop it for Punnett. Grizzlies make a quick line change. Malmquist will bounce one off of Voigt's stick. Malmquist gets it back. He skates along the Idaho blue line, moves it back towards Wall. He got redirected. They thought he got redirected at neutralized, but it didn't. Icing is on the Steelheads. It's 17:43. That's the time remaining here in the third period. Well, we are about 22 hours away from the Grizzlies home opener on Saturday night. Make sure to join us at Maverick Center. Pre-game coverage begins at 6:45. Face-off at 7:10. You're going to want to make sure to get there early. And as Ryan Smith would say, Utah shows up. So make sure to show up for your Grizzlies as they take on these same Steelheads. Danny Genev will crouch down low and take the draw. Grattan with a shot safe. Rebound. It looked like Genev was trying to knife it towards the net and misses wide. Now Pike fires the right point shot that misses wide. Glove side on Meyer. As Punnett will bounce it off the glass. Hanson Bukata calms down the puck near the Utah line. He'll move it ahead to Grattan, the Grizzlies' new captain. He'll drop it for Genev. Genev back towards the right side. Stops over along the right corner. He gets it tapped away by Tommy Bergslund, number 5, a defenseman for Idaho. First time he's faced the Grizzlies. Lebster gets to Genev. Back towards Lebster. One-timer, and that one goes wide as Lebster looking for a hat trick. He's got 2 tonight. Salem dancing around back and forth as he twirls around number 27, Angus McDonald, in his pro debut. Arm is raised by the referee, and it's going to be a penalty on Idaho. Genev fires a right point lefty shot. Glove saved by Meyer. And with that, the whistle blows. Looks like roughing is going to be the call, and the Steelheads will go to the box. And the Grizzlies get a power play as there's an even 17 minutes left in regulation. Angus McDonald gets his first professional penalty. Only 20 years old. McDonald has an AHL contract with the Texas Stars. They believe he's going to be a good player. He's in the box right now, 2 minutes for roughing. McDonald played in the OHL last year and had 27 goals in 46 games for Brampton. Brampton's nickname is the Steelheads. Either there or Mississauga's the Steelheads as well. I don't think Brampton are the Steelheads. I think they got a mistake in their game notes. Or maybe the team moved and they were all the Steelheads. We'll have to check on that. Grizzlies win the draw. Pike dangles back and forth. He's in the high slide. He'll get it to Shea. Over to Lebster. Lebster at the far goal line. Grizzlies skate from left to right in their period. Back to Shea, over to Pike, who fakes a one-timer, collects the puck, skates towards Shea. Now he moves it back to Voigt. As Voigt gets to Grattan near the right goal line, Grattan feeds it back up top to Voigt, who will tap it off Pike. Pike will backhand it. Puck bounces at the blue line. Shea's able to keep it in, dangling back and forth in the left point's Neil Shea. Over to Lebster, far goal line, takes a righty shot, saved by Meyer. Hacking away, Idaho skates behind their net. Bergsland in particular will tap it to the right corner. Voigt gets there about the same time as Anderson. Now getting there's Bergsland in the right corner as he avoids a Lebster check, and the Steelheads can't clear it out. Voigt down the middle of the ice will take a righty shot, and it's blocked by Miller. Shea over to the left side, back up top to Pike. Over to Lebster, right wing. Lebster slides it back to Pike. He directs it to Shea, left side. Shea trying to center it towards Pike. Glance off the stick and flies towards the right corner. Lebster collides with Bergsland Kanadi. Lebster keeps control of the puck. He'll move it to Shea. Shea skates towards the left circle with momentum. Stops on a dime as Anderson cut him off. Shea back up top to Lebster. 50 seconds left in the power play. Lebster to Shea. Left side to the left. Shot that goes wide. Fired kind of a change up on Meyer. And the Steelheads clear it out along the far wing boards. Wells behind his net. 40 seconds left in Utah's power play. It's their third of the game. Salem gets the puck. He's got Ness Manning and Genev skating nearby. And at the Idaho blue line's Evan Friesen. Salem over to Ness at center ice. No wobble it in. As Meyer behind the net gets it towards the right corner. Friesen lost control of the puck, and Idaho clears it out. Jardine in particular, he's got an A on his sweater. Wells at the near goal line, drops it for Salem. 15 seconds left in the power play. About 5 minutes into the third period. Utah leads 4-0. Salem moves to his left for Manning. Manning fakes it to Salem, steps over the offensive line, guides towards his right. Regathers the puck after he got cut off by Idaho. Out of the penalty box is McDonald. McDonald in his pro debut. Grizzlies back. Will throw it into their own zone. Gansky will drop it for Salem. Salem to Manning. He overskates it. Pearson right side shot. And it went past Wells, but went wide of the net. Charlie Dodaro has it on the left side. Over to McDonald. Back to Dodaro. He pedals towards his right now. McDonald gets around one skater, and he'll loft it towards the left corner. Loose puck run down by Genev. Danny Genev, the Penn State product, steps over the offensive line. Skates to the right side. The lefty shot that goes wide. As Genev was part of the Penn State team that went to the Frozen Four last season. First time in team hit in program history. Ricketts with the puck. He'll get it in front of his net for Felton. Puck off a stick towards Pike. Pike trying to get to Jalot, but he reverses. Heels Phil towards center ice. Pass went behind him for an icing call with 14:09 left in the third. Jalot was skating one way, and the puck was coming the other. As Jalot talks with John Buchanan, the Grizzlies head coach. By Buchanan and Ryan Anderson. It's been a clinic tonight. Grizzlies have been on point defensively. They're a little bit disappointed after Sunday's game, but the Grizzlies just looked like they had run out of gas. That 3 games in 3 days set in Atlanta didn't have a similar scenarios. They were just playing the second game of a back-to-back. Grizzlies have it off a stick. It goes to center ice. Holmes falls down near the center ice logo. Puck slides back to the Idaho line. Boy, ice conditions must not be very good. A lot of players are falling down on their own. And these are highly conditioned pro athletes. They don't necessarily fall down unless there's some issues with the ice. Jalot gets the puck in the right wing. He tries to get around Bergslund. Jalot gets pushed along the glass as Kershuk loses the puck behind the net, battles with Holmes. Puck slides along the near wing wall. Nobody home for Utah. Buchanan will run it down near the Grizzlies bench. Rink wide feed angle left goes to Shea, and Shea will globe it deep into the Steelhead zone. Shea Felton will come off the ice for a change. Shea stays out there with Manning and Voigt. Bergslund has the puck. They'll go D to D to Hershuk, who's 5'11", 178 pounds. Back towards Bergslund. Over to Hershuk, who wears number 77. Hershuk will bounce one rink wide off the board to Curry. Curry steps in right side. Reverses field, centers it. It's picked off by Gansky. Gansky dangles back and forth. Gets to the center red line, and he whips it around the boards. Shea lets it go to Voigt. Voigt in the left side. Gets around Curry. Gets tripped up, no call as Voigt lost his balance. Idaho comes back the other way. Punt it, 3-on-2. Idaho into Utah ice. They center it to Miller. Miller gets around Manning. Miller centering pass. Shot. Kick saved by Wells. Wait, what a stop by Dylan Wells. He's been outstanding tonight. Puck still alive. Curry. He's to the left side. Arm is raised. Penalty is going to be on the Grizzlies. Delayed penalty. Miller. Sharp angled shot goes wide. He was looking for a redirection out in front of the net. Now right side punt it. Shot kick saved by Wells. Pearson has the puck in the left wing. Feeds up top to Anderson. Across to punt it. One-timer saved by Wells. Rebound shot. Kick saved by Wells as he extended his left pad out. Now the net gets dislodged. And Wells makes a save. And I think they might give a Grizzly a penalty for knocking the net over. So I think we're going to get 2 penalties on this play. Looked like at the end, Grizzlies kicked the net open, and I wonder if that's going to be a penalty as well. Utah leads 4-0, 12:16 left in the third period. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
So it looks like we got 2 separate penalties. Utah leads 4-0 as Manning and Salem are in the box. The original penalty, I think, was on Manning, and then net got dislodged. And I think the referee saw something fishy about how the net got dislodged, is what it looks like. So there's two different guys in the box, Salem and Manning. We'll take a look when we can at what the penalties were. But nevertheless, this is Idaho's 7th power play, and it's a 5-on-3 advantage. Utah leads 4-0. Ricketts is out there with Gansky and Pike. Fans making some noise. It's Utah that's made a lot of noise on the score sheet tonight. Idaho wins the draw. As Baum over in the high slot as all day, moves to his right. Now back to Baum from Malmquist. Shot hits the post and goes wide. Grizzlies, Pike tried to one-hand it off of Baum. Gansky gets it, hustles after it, swung and missed on a clear attempt. Kanadi gets it back towards Malmquist, up top to Baum. Jeff's his first name, 5'11", 185 pounds. Shot saved by Wells and Holmes. Boy, Wells had it cleanly, and then Holmes was hacking after Wells, and Gansky's going to defend Wells. Linesman step between them. Holmes, one of those guys, 6'2", 202 pounds, had one goal on the road trip against Tahoe. He likes to get out in front of the net. Looked like Wells caught it cleanly, and Holmes looked like started to hack after Wells. There has been a couple occasions there where Wells has kind of bobbled those saves about chest high. He caught it cleanly, though, and Holmes was trying to hack away, and Gansky quickly went to defend his goaltender. You know, it's quiet the crowd's been. You get that confrontation out in front of the crease, there wasn't as much noise you'd normally see for that sort of play. Idaho wins the draw. Utah leads 4-0. Baum over to Malmquist, just outside the right circle. It gets to Kanadi, who dangles back and forth. Kanadi now in the slot. Gets to the wall. Wall back up top. Baum fires lefty shot, saved by Wells. Rebound, puck goes to the high slot. As Malmquist over to Wall, his shot is saved by Wells, and the net gets dislodged. As we mentioned, this ice, normally the ice is pretty good here in Boise. We've seen a couple occasions over the years where it hasn't been great, and the ice has not been good. And so that the post really wasn't held on as secure as it normally would be. And as a result, once Wells tried to close up the near side, post went undone. Brian Anderson, the Grizzlies assistant coach, talking with Christian Felton. So Manning got a hooking minor, 7:44, and then Salem got 2 minutes for delay of game. And I believe that's for knocking the net open when it looked like Idaho had some momentum and had some scoring chances. So 5-on-3 power play. Baum has it after Idaho won the draw. Over to Malmquist, back to Baum, who's been instrumental on their power plays at times tonight, although they haven't been successful this evening. Wall over the high slot, former Grizzly righty shot saved by Wells, and immediately two Grizzlies converge on Wells as near the net was a Steelhead trying to get after a loose puck, and that was Holmes. Wells catches it cleanly. Idaho's up to 39 shots as there's 11:15 left in the third, and it's been the Dylan Wells and Reed Lebster show. But really, it's been more than that for the Grizzlies. They've been on point defensively, even though Idaho has taken 39 shots. Not too many of them have been grade A chances. Lebster will take the drives out there with Felton and Gansky. Draw one by Idaho. Anderson gets it towards Bermquist over to the right side. One-timer saved by Wells. Rebound goes to Lebster. Lebster gets tripped up, wanted a penalty, but there was no purchase. Grizzlies slammed their sticks along the boards as Lebster got back to his feet and cleared it all the way out. 43 seconds left in the 5-on-3. As over the line is Hoffman, fresh off his 10-minute misconduct. Now Anderson gets the puck. He'll move it towards Bergslund. Back to Anderson. Over to the left goal line. Stomping on a dime is Pearson. He's been active tonight. Centering pass out towards Hoffman. Lost his balance. Curry centers it back towards Hoffman. Righty shot goes wide as he was in front of the crease. Missed the net glove side. And the puck slides deep into the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies will switch up skaters as Pike enters. He's out there with Felton and Ricketts. Curry crosses center ice. Moves towards his right. Steps over the offensive line. Drops for Hoffman. Out to Bergslund. Back to Hoffman. Slot. Righty shot. And that's blocked. Ricketts gets the puck. He's got a breakaway. Ricketts is chased by two defenders. Ricketts will take a lefty shot. Saved by Meyer. And the puck slides towards the goal line. Loose puck in front of the crease. And no goal. Boy, it looked like Ricketts went low on Meyer. And Hoffman throws a Grizzly stick towards the near wing wall. As Meyer tried to close the 5-hole and looked like he didn't. Puck was trickling behind him. And then towards the goal line, puck laid near the goal line. Was no goal. Then a couple Grizzlies went after. Genev went towards the net. Bergslin was in the area. And then Hoffman took a Grizzly stick and threw it cross ice. So Grizzlies almost with a 5-on-3 goal. And while all that was going on, the penalty kill is over for the Grizzlies. We're now skating 5-on-5. How about that? A 2-minute 5-on-3 penalty kill, and the Grizzlies killed it off with ease. There were a few shots that Idaho had, but Dylan Wells, well, he's been amazing. They're going to go to video replay. The one angle we saw, the puck never crossed the goal line. It was laying in front of the goal line, a little bit towards the near goal line, and then everybody just kind of converged once they saw a loose puck. But at no point did it look like the puck ever crossed the goal line from the one angle on a replay that we saw here high top section 203 at Idaho Central Arena. So it's 4-0, and unless they see something different, it's going to stay 4-0, and the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw with 10:07 left in the third. If you joined us late, well, there was quite a bit of action through the first two periods. We haven't seen nearly as much outside of that 2-minute 5-on-3 situation so far in the third. Tyler Gratton got Utah on the board, 2:42 in, with Neil Shea and Reed Lepser getting the assist. Referee's coming out of the box, and it signaled a no goal, and that seemed to be the good call. Grizzlies don't even argue it. Reed Lepser scored 18:48 into the first, with Hanson Bukata and Shea getting the assist. Shea got an assist in both of Utah's first period goals. Jack Ricketts with his second of the year, 5:13 into the second. Ness and Hanson Bukata with the assist, and for Bukata, that's his second of the night. And then Reed Lepster, shorthanded with a great individual effort. He got a second of the year and second of the night. That's 11:20 into the second period, and that's where we sit. As Idaho's outshot Utah 40-24, but the Grizzlies have all 4 goals in the game. Puck up top, Pike in the left point gets to Voigt. Voigt gets pushed, and then he gets attacked by Dadero. Dadero threw like a right cross towards Voigt's shoulder. Frustration settling in on the Idaho side. Puck goes past Manning and Miller as Meyer wings it around the wall. Idaho comes out with a loose puck. Angus McDonald in his pro debut. Well, trying to get it up top, but nobody was home as the puck goes back to the Idaho line. Jardine gets it for Idaho. Dadero reverses his field as he pivots and skates back towards the far circle as Idaho slows up shop. Grizzlies will make a change. Friesen and Gillot enter. They're skating 5-on-5 with a 9:22 on a moving clock third period. As Nevers will fire it off the far wing boards to nobody in particular. Salem fanned on moving it up. Now he gets it back and gets it towards Friesen along the far side. Friesen gets belted by Holmes. Gansky crosses center ice, and he wings it around the wall. Puck behind Idaho's net as Punnett gets to Canati in the corner. And Canati had been a defenseman at times for Idaho, but he's now a forward and acting as the captain. Idaho accelerates towards center ice. Hershuk crosses center, spins along the wall. Wells drifts it towards the near side as Friesen gets hit in the back by Ports. Idaho comes out with the puck. They get it to the right side. Hershuk centers it towards Holmes. Holmes gets it back, bounces it off of Felton. Holmes gets it back. Lefty shot saved by Wells. Holmes will saucer it up top to Punnett. Punnett directs it past Holmes, and the Grizzlies come up with it as Evan Friesen will race out to neutralize. As Holmes is now on the Grizzlies bench. She tried to light up Friesen. Now Holmes gives a right to Friesen. Arm is raised by the referee. And we got a penalty. It might be on Holmes. Boy, Friesen kind of sidestepped to avoid Holmes's check. Holmes tried to go up top on Friesen, and then Grizzlies pushed Holmes into the bench. Holmes ended up in the Grizzlies bench for a couple seconds, and the referee spotted a penalty on Holmes. So the Grizzlies will get a power play. They lead 4-0 with 8:26 left in the third period. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Grizzlies are on the power play with 8:26 left in the third period. Utah leads 4-0 as Robbie Holmes got 2 minutes for roughing. Penalty minutes 8 and 9 for him on the season. Tyler Gratton will take the draw. We haven't seen a power play goal tonight. Grizzlies 0 for 3. Idaho's 0 for 9 on the power play. Some of the fans are headed for the exits a little bit early. Grizzlies won the faceoff. Shea spins it back towards Voigt. Miller somehow was at neutral ice. Webster over to Shea off his skate. He plays soccer to Pike. Pike back to Shea in the left point. As Shea drops it back for Pike. He'll take a shot and he hits the near post. Iron was unkind. It stays 4-0. Webster over to Shea. He'll skate towards the left circle with momentum. He tried to center it out in front to Gratton. It glanced off his stick. Voigt gets it back towards Webster. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist tonight. Webster feeds it back up top to Voigt in the right point. He'll slide it to the high slot for Pike, who will move to his left. Pike dangles back and forth. Now he moves back to his right. Pike slides it, reverses his field to Shea on the left side. Shea over to Webster, back up top to Pike. Pike now back to the right point. Fakes it to Webster. 1:10 left in the power play. Grizzlies patient with their approach. Voigt over to Pike. They'll move it to Shea in the left side. Skates towards the circle. Take a lefty shot, and that's blocked. Gratton gets it. The Idaho player, that one blocked good, and that was Baum, who's still on one knee. Voigt centers it. Now it goes back towards Webster. Backhand shot goes wide as he had a good chance for the hat trick. Boy, ice has been difficult here tonight on all skaters. Pike fakes a shot. Gets to Voigt in the right side. Back to Pike, left side. He fires towards the net. Save. Puck bounces off the Webster. He couldn't get a shot off, though. He regathers the puck and gets it back up top to Voigt. Pike over to Shea, back to the left side. Shea tried to get to Webster on a one-time tap, and his shot went wide. Idaho will race out to neutral ice, and then Hoffman helicopters it all the way. Puck bounces. Wells lets it go. Hoffman gets a loose puck. Sharp angle shot saved by Wells. Now Canati gets on the right side. Lefty shot saved by Wells again. Grizzlies come back the other way. Genev races across center ice. Hoffman hacks him twice. No call. Unbelievably. Hoffman attacked Genev. Genev falls down. Canati takes lefty shot and goes wide. And now a penalty is going to be called, and this one's going to be on the Grizzlies. Boy, Danny Genev, Hoffman tapped Genev twice on the wrist. Genev didn't get called for the penalty, and then he fell down, and that started the attack back the other way for Idaho. Nick Canati's yelling as the door to the Idaho box comes open. Canati can't believe it, but it's going to be a penalty on Idaho. Grizzlies will have a 5-on-3 for 7 seconds. And then coming out of the box will be Holmes. Grizzlies will have a 5-on-4 power play after that. 6:32 is left in the third period. As they're showing on the field. The thing is, that's what started the scoring chance, and that's what the penalty was. As Grizzlies win the draw, Salem left side takes a lefty shot and bounced off of Myers' glove. Getting the rebounds, Genev on the right side. Genev, he'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Meyer, and he holds on. As Holmes is out of the box, 1:50 left, as Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw with 6:21 left in the third period. We haven't seen a power play goal on either side tonight. How about the Grizzlies? 9 for 9 on the penalty kill. This is Utah's fifth power play of the game. Punnett gets it, and he'll sell it over Genev's head. Wells behind his net will play it behind his net. He'll drop it off to Salem. He's sporting an amazing mustache, one of the best mustaches in team history. He'll get it to the left side for Genev across the center ice. Genev over the line onside. Toe drag. Lost control of the puck as it slides off the inboards. Genev gets the loose puck. Drops it back for Manning, who overskates it. Idaho wings it around the wall. So the puck wobbles towards Wells. Wells cuts it off about 5 feet in front of the crease. He fires an outlet pass 3/4 of the length of the ice. Goes tape to Manning. As Genev couldn't reach it with his stick, puck slides towards the right corner. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Puck up top to Webster. He's got 2 goals, 1 assist tonight. Webster drops it for Genev right side. Genev feeds to the right goal line for Friesen back to Genev, who's still looking for his first pro goal. Genev dances around. Now back around Idaho's net. Genev holds on, fakes a Michigan, hits the side of the net with a pass. Now he gets it back to Friesen on the right side. Grizzlies patient here on the power play. Salem fakes a shot, gets to Manning. Manning with an A on his sweater. Over to Webster behind the net. Webster dangles back and forth, gets it to Manning, left side. His shot goes wide, and the puck ricochets off the glass and goes all the way down to the Grizzlies' end. Salem runs it down. Both teams will change up skaters. Less than 30 seconds left in Utah's power play. Salem leaves it for Shea, and Salem will exit. He's replaced by Pike. As Shea, like a blur of lightning over the offensive line, Grattan gets it across. Pike gets it off the wall as he avoids Holmes' check. Webster gets it back towards Voigt. Voigt on the backhand's able to collect it. He'll skate towards the high slot. Voigt dangles back and forth. He's now on the left wing. Now drops it for Shea, who fakes a shot, gets it to Pike. 5 seconds left in the power play. Pike over to Shea. Shea left wing gets to Voigt. Back to Shea. One-timer goes wide. Canadi's out of the box. Webster, right side, fires a changeup. Ricochets off the stick on to Meyer, who covers up. And he stops play with 4:24 left in the third. Utah leads 4-0. We'll have our final media timeout here as Grizzlies have been outstanding tonight. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in, and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from Les.
Grizzlies have been buzzing tonight. They lead 4-0 with 4:24 left in the third period. Jack Ricketts will take the draw over on the right side. He's out there with John Gillott and Adam Berg as Idaho wins the face-off. As Hershuk skies it in the Grizzlies' ice, Adam Berg comes up with it. Berg crosses center ice in his first game of the season. He dumps it in. Puck ricochets off the boards. Meyer will tap it off the wall. Puck to neutral ice as Ricketts tried to one-hand it to Berg, but he was skating the other way. As Idaho back deep in their own zone. Grizzlies get out towards center ice. Idaho slices one left wing out towards Nevers. He loses control of the puck. John Gillott gets it. Grizzlies race to the right wing as Gillott tries a shield. Ports from the puck. Gillott goes down. As we mentioned, ice conditions don't seem to be ideal tonight. As Dodaro gets physical on Gillott, or gets physical on Ricketts, Gillott in the area. He gets a good shoulder check from Miller. As Idaho skates around their net, as Ports kind of awkwardly skates towards center ice, crosses center, and he'll sky it into the left corner deep in the Grizzlies zone. Utah in control. Grizzlies out towards center ice to Shea. It skies off his stick. As the Steelheads with 3:15 left get to Mitch Wall. Wall crosses center ice. Steps over the attack line. Gets to Anderson at neutral ice. Anderson whips it around the wall. As Pike with the puck. Grizzlies have been in full control from start to finish. Voigt wobbles it back towards Pike, who crosses center ice. He'll drop it onside to Shea. Shea dumps it off the Idaho backboard. Pike gets it. Oh, that's a dangerous hit by Mitch Wall. And Ty Voigt is about 150 pounds soaking wet, but he's going to go after Wall if he can. Luckily, Pike's back to his feet. As Pike, it was that spot where he wasn't necessarily towards the boards, and Mitch Wall just gave him a good cross check awkwardly. Luckily, Pike was back to his feet, but he's going to skate to the bench slowly. As Pike will go over the boards, takes a couple deep breaths. That might be the last we see of Mitch Wall tonight. 2:51 left in the third period. Grizzlies will get another power play. Idaho's outshot Utah 44-29. But the way the Grizzlies have looked here this evening, it's going to be a winning road trip for John Buchanan's crew, as they will go to 2-1-1 on the season. They'll pick up 5 out of a possible 8 standings points on the trip. So draw is going to be the Idaho zone. As Mitch Wall might be the last we see of him tonight. That was an awkward hit there on Pike. And Ty Voigt, you got to give credit to Voigt. He's about 150 pounds soaking wet. He went after to confront Wall. Linesman kind of knew that, Voigt had to do what he had to do, and it almost looked like Wall knew that he had to do what he had to do, and the linesman stepped in. As John Mechanic talking with Garrett Pike. Luckily, Pike is sitting on the bench, and he's ready for his next shift. It's a 5-minute major. There's only 2:51 left in regulation. Maybe we can get a rule change before tomorrow's game to where we can carry it over to the next game. The Grizzlies start off tomorrow with a power play. Danny Genev will take the draw. 5-minute major on Mitch Wall. And you wonder about his availability tomorrow if the league takes a look at it. Kanadi will fire it off the near wing wall. It goes past Gansky. We will not risk mentioning what the score is and what's going on with Dylan Wells. Last time something like that happened, I believe, was on New Year's Eve of 2023 when the Grizzlies beat Tulsa 1-0. Genev in the area. Lepster on hat trick watch. He gets pushed to the boards by Bergsland. Grizzlies to the left point. They get towards Genev. Genev tried to get down the middle of the ice to Grattan. It's picked up by Idaho. As puck wobbles off a stanchion on the near side and slides all the way towards Wells. So the Grizzlies will end regulation on the power play with a 5-minute major. Mitch Wall is in the locker room. As you mentioned, if the league takes a look at it, who knows, maybe it's going to be a little bit more than that. Obviously, with anything that's a major, the league will probably take a look at it. Gansky gets it across to Genev. He crosses center ice with ease. Genev over the offensive line, skates towards his right, loses his balance as he gets pinned to the boards. And Pearson goes attacking, cross-checking Genev. Now Pearson skates towards Genev. Linesman steps between him. Boy, it looked like Pearson was going to throw a cheap shot at Genev, and the linesman intercepted him. Utah crosses center ice. Berg over the offensive line. He gets up top. Salem. Utah leads 4-0. Across to Felton. Felton's on the right side. Felton at the right goal line. Skates around Idaho's net towards the far side. Gets up top to Salem. Grizzlies patient with their approach. Over to Ricketts. Back to Salem. Salem skates towards the left circle. Now to the far goal line for Berg. Berg trying to get to Felton, but an Idaho stick got in the way. Puck slides up top to Salem. 1 minute left in regulation. Grizzlies are up 4-0. Salem dancing around. Now he'll back it out to neutralize. Grizzlies reset. And now Pearson, who's acting as a very frustrated hockey player, will skate towards Salem. Now Salem accelerates as Pearson's on the back check. Salem crosses center ice. Now he'll twirl back to the Grizzlies zone. As Pearson hacks away at Salem. Salem goes down. Pearson to Punnett. Punnett swings and misses. A stick gets broken, and that's Ness. That's going to be a penalty on Idaho. Or maybe it's Punnett's stick that got broken by Ness. Punnett goes to the box, though. So it's going to be a 5-on-3 power play for the rest of regulation as Utah leads 4-0. As far as I can remember, that New Year's Eve game, 2003 against Tulsa, Utah won 1-0. That was a shutout. I know Dante Genev had one shutout and Garrett Metcalf had one. I think it was a Dante Genev, Dante Januzzi, not to be confused with Danny Genev, but Dante Januzzi, I think, got the shutout 1-0 that afternoon. And that's the last time the Grizzlies had a shutout. And right now, Dylan Wells has a clean sheet. 28 seconds left. Grizzlies have a 5-on-3 power play. And I say that because it's a 5-on-3 power play. If Idaho scores, then ultimate jinx of the century. Grizzlies win the draw. Gansky over in the right point. Dangles back and forth. Gets to Hanson Bukata. As Lepster with the puck. He's on the left side. Skates towards the high slot. He'll throw it to... Oh, he scores! Did Manning get a piece of it? Manning talks with Lepster. It's a 5-0 game. As the puck trickled past Meyer. Toss those hats wherever you are. It's the third of the game for Reed Lepster. Him and Manning talked it over. Manning says, Lepster, it's your goal. We'll see what the official count is. But if it's Lepster, it's his third of the game. And that'll be Utah's first hat trick since, I believe, Neil Shea. Manning was in the area. Manning either got a piece of it or it acted as a bit of a screen. So it's 5-0 Utah. with 16.2 seconds left. Manning and Webster talked it over for quite a bit as to whether it got redirected or not. I'd say toss those hats anyway. Hats off to the Grizzlies for an amazing effort tonight. We'll see if it's Webster or if it's Manning. If it's Webster, it's a hat trick. If it's Manning, it would be his first of the season. Grizzlies dumping on to Meyer. 5-0 is going to be the final score. It's going to be a shutout for Dylan Wells, who went 9-0 over a 2-season stretch with Idaho. 2 seconds left, one, and that will do it. Grizzlies win! Grizzlies win! Grizzlies win 5-0, and there is no doubt about it. As Reed Webster gets the hat trick, he had 3 goals and 1 assist. Aiden Hansen-Bucata had 3 assists. Neil Shea had 2 helpers. Grizzlies also got goals from Jack Ricketts and Tyler Gratton. And how about Gratton in his first game as Grizzlies captain? And you can't forget about Dylan Wells. He gets a shutout as he saved all 46 Idaho shots. And it's the first shutout since December 31st of 2023. What an effort by John Buchanan's crew as the Grizzlies from start to finish dominated in the Steelheads home opener. Boy, make sure to come on down to Maverick Center tomorrow night for the Grizzlies home opener as they get 5 out of a possible 8 standings points on the road. And the Grizzlies will host the Steelheads tomorrow night. 7 o'clock face-off. Dylan Wells leaves the ice victorious. He gets a big hug from John Buchanan. Reed Webster, the hat trick. Who's the number 1 star of the game? Aiden Hansen-Buchan is the 3rd star. Second star with a 45-save shutout is Dylan Wells. And the number 1 star is Reed Webster. 3 goals and 1 assist. What an effort by the Grizzlies. 60 minutes of absolute perfection. How about the penalty kill? 9 for 9 on the penalty kill. Last year, the Grizzlies had the last ranked penalty kill in the league. 9 for 9 tonight on the road in this building with as good as Idaho can be on the power play. You'll take that all day, every day. And with that power play goal that was scored by Webster late in regulation, the Grizzlies get off the schneid as they get their first power play goal of the season. Post-game show starts in 30 seconds. Once again, the final. It's the Utah Grizzlies 5 and the Idaho Steelheads 0. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
What a performance by the Grizzlies tonight. And this is the Idaho Steelheads home opener. Idaho won 2 out of 3 games against Tahoe. Steelheads should be a good team this year, but the Grizzlies just dominated from start to finish. Tyler Gratton got the party started. It was 3 seconds after after a Utah power play. Shea got the puck on the left side, cross ice pass to the right goal line for Gratton. And the new Grizzlies captain put it away for his first of the year and first as a Grizzly. Shea and Reed Webster picked up the assists. And then Webster got the puck late in the first period. He was in the left wing and fired a glove side past Nolan Meyer. As Webster got his first of the year, he had 19 goals last season. Aiden Hansen-Buchan and Neil Shea picked up the assists. Utah led 2-0 after 1 period. Idaho outshot Utah 15-11 in the first period. The Steelheads had a big shot advantage in all 3 periods. 15-11 in the first, 11-8 in the second, and 20-12 in the third. But it was the Dylan Wells show for 60 minutes. And the defensive effort, believe it or not, was outstanding despite the fact that Idaho had that many shots, including quite a few grade A chances in the third period. Jack Ricketts extended Utah's lead early in the second period, 5:13 in, as Ricketts got a second of the year. Ness and Hansen-Buchan got the assists. And then the Grizzlies scored shorthanded. Shea got a hooking minor, 11-13 into the second. Faceoff went between the 2 Steelhead defensemen up top. Reed Webster got between both defensemen, won a foot race, got the puck, and was able to make a nice move and fired it in the back of the net for a shorthanded goal that was 11-20 into the second period unassisted. And that was just the kind of night it was for Reed Webster. He just wanted it badly and was able to win a foot race against two pretty speedy Steelheads. And Reed Webster got that with heart and hustle and desire and all that sort of stuff. That made it a 4-0 game, and that's where it stood after 2 periods. At one point in the second period, there was a 4-second stretch where the Grizzlies had 5 players in the penalty box. There was quite a long stretch where they had 4 in the box, and then Luke Salem, they got a delay of game penalty, 14:53, and he was the 5th Grizzly in the box, which was quite the visual. Interestingly enough, there wasn't a single fighting major among that. There was a couple misconducts there for Idaho, and that's why they only had 1 in the box at that time. But there, the second half of the second period, when Idaho had chance after chance on the power play to get back in the game, Grizzlies' penalty kill buckled down, and they were outstanding. Utah was a perfect 9 for 9 on the penalty kill, and most of that came in the second period. It stayed a 4-0 game for most of the third period, and then Reed Webster had the puck. Luke Manning was out in front, and somehow Manning must have acted as a great screen as Webster on a casual shot almost looked like he was trying to get to Manning more than fire a shot himself. Somehow it got past Manning and got past Nolan Mayer into the back of the net, and Reed Webster and Luke Manning talked it over for a good 5 seconds, and then coming out of the pile and skating to the bench first was Reed Webster, indicating that was his 3rd goal of the game, and hopefully you were able to toss your hats wherever you were, as that goal was scored 19:44 into the third period. How about Aiden Hansen-Bukata? He had 3 assists tonight, including an assist on that Webster goal. Noah Gansky also picked up an assist on the Webster power play goal, 19:44 into the third period. And that turns out to be Utah's first power play goal of the season. A 46-save shutout for Dylan Wells. And, hey, what can you say? That only gives them the 2nd star, as Reed Webster's the 1st star. As far as I can remember, the Grizzlies didn't have a shutout last season. I think if I remember right, it was New Year's Eve 2023 where Dante Januzzi got a shutout. I think earlier that year, I think in the first weekend against Tulsa, it was Garrett Metcalf getting a shutout for Utah. And Dante Januzzi, if I remember right, New Year's Eve 2023 was the Grizzlies' last shutout. So how about it? For 60 minutes, it was all Grizzlies, and they did so against a good Steelheads team. And Idaho is usually a really good team in this barn. But the Grizzlies just played a very disciplined game, and they controlled the pace, it felt like, throughout. From start to finish, it felt like the Grizzlies were playing more their style of hockey than Idaho was playing their brand of hockey. So with that in mind, the Grizzlies have a winning road trip. They finished 2-1-1 in the 4-game trip. They picked up 3 out of 6 points in the Eastern time zone. And this is the first of 7 meetings this year between the Grizzlies and Steelheads. And Utah comes away with a 5-0 victory. Jack Ricketts had 1 goal, and he was a +3. Webster was a +3. He had 3 goals and 1 assist. And Webster led the Grizzlies with 8 shots on goal. In fact, he led both teams in shots. Aiden Hansen-Bukata, 3 assists. Neil Shea, 2 assists. Avery Winslow didn't have a point, but he was a +2 tonight. All 6 Grizzly defensemen were outstanding this evening. And what can you say? It was about as perfect a game here in Boise as you can get. And for the Grizzlies, they go back to Maverick Center tomorrow night. Steelheads will be looking for a little bit of revenge. And for the Grizzlies, and we're not going to mention it too much over the course of the year because you can really get boggled up into it. But it will be the final home opener in team history, and we hope to see you for all the action. Make sure to get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. We want to see a big crowd tomorrow night as the Grizzlies will begin the home slate with a 4-game homestand tomorrow night against Idaho, and then 3 games against the Jacksonville Icemen on October 29th, 30th, and 31st. John Buchanan had to be ecstatic. His Grizzlies played outstanding this evening. 3 stars once again, Aiden Hansen-Bukata with 3 assists as the 3rd star. 2nd star goes to Dylan Wells, 46-save shutout. Sorry, you're just the 2nd star. As the 1st star went to Reed Webster, who had 3 goals and 1 assist. He was a +3 and led all skaters in 8 shots. The only thing he didn't do is commit a penalty. As Grizzlies had 22 minutes worth of penalties, Idaho had 33. Mitch Wall got a boarding major, 17:09 into the 3rd period. League's probably going to take a look at that one. It kind of looked like your classic board. I don't know if it's worthy of a suspension or not. League will take a look at it. We'll see if Mitch Wall will be in action against the Grizzlies, a team that he played for 2 seasons, back from 2011 through 2013. Well, that'll just about wrap things up. Hey, what can you say? Make sure to support the Grizzlies tomorrow This was about as outstanding a 60-minute effort I've seen from the Grizzlies in quite some time. I'm not sure I saw a game like this at any point last season, and really, you got to go back a couple years. Obviously, got to go back a couple years to the last shutout, which I believe was on New Year's Eve 2023, with Dante Januzzi getting a clean sheet against the Tulsa Oilers 1-0. Make sure to join us at Maverick Center, but if you can't, we got the game, obviously, with the audio coverage on YouTube and Flow Sports, the exclusive streaming provider of the league. Well, I got to pack up and get on the bus so I can get from Boise to the Salt Lake Valley, as it's going to be a happy 5-hour ride for the Grizzlies. Maybe not nearly as happy for Idaho, as they'll be looking for some revenge tomorrow night. Well, we'll talk to you tomorrow evening as Utah defeats Idaho 5-0. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream. 3 Grizzlies have made it to the NHL from the 2021-22 team, and I'm hoping to find a way to get there as well. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good night, everybody.